Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, that's great. Yeah.
Were you going to do something on it? I didn't know you were.
Well, we were going to talk about it. See that he,
okay.
You know, I mean, somewhere during the game.
Fine.
He hasn't been. They had
Good.
it in the pregame, and I thought that was just a wristband. I didn't think that was it, but I see what it is now. It's a play.
Can I ask you what you think of that? That kind of a thing, or is that you want to get away? You don't want to not touch that.
20.
Or do why he does it.
Okay.
15.
Tampa will receive. We are at the halfway point in this NFL season, and in the Central Division, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers face the Green Bay Packers in a pivotal contest. Tampa Bay has lost 2 in a row after winning their first 5, and Green Bay, after beating Detroit last week, can move to within 1 game of the lead in the Central Division. And we have a beautiful afternoon for football in sold-out Tampa Stadium here in Tampa, Florida, as the Green Bay Packers go against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton with John Madden. The Green Bay Packers have lost Eddie Lee Ivory, Steve Atkins, and Barty Smith, all gone because of knee surgery. They're going with some backup backs. They did the job last week, John.
They did the job last week, and if Green Bay is going to be successful today, they're going to have to do the job again this week against the Buccaneers.
Simpson gained 121 yards. Landers a touchdown 55, and that's a factor. We've talked about the quarterbacks and the running backs, but what do you think is the focal point in this game?
I think the biggest thing will be turnovers or lack of turnovers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers in their last 2 games have had 7 turnovers, and they've lost both of those games. And I think they want to eliminate those. I also know that the Green Bay Packers want to eliminate turnovers. And I think the ratio of turnovers will be a big point in determining the winner of this game.
All right now let's go down to the field. And we have a beautiful afternoon and no threat of rain, where it has rained from time to time here in Tampa, Florida. You're looking at Steve Odom, who is standing at the 2-yard line ready to receive the kickoff. And Neil O'Donoghue will kick off for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In their earlier meeting, the Green Bay Packers were beaten 21-10 at Green Bay, and a line drive kick starts it off. It's fumbled at the 15-yard line and picked up there and taken up to the 28-yard line by Sammy Johnson, the former Minnesota and San Francisco running back, and so the Packers will take over there. David Whitehurst is the quarterback. Nate Simpson and Walt Landers, who did the job last week. Simpson with 121 yards of the running backs. James Lofton shut out last week, and Andra Thompson of the wide receivers, and Paul Kaufman doing a superb job is the tight end. The offensive line, Tim Stokes, is playing in place of the injured Mark Concar, who's out with an ankle injury. So at the 28-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Green Bay Packers. They're in white. And the give goes to Nate Simpson, and he's piled up just beyond the 30-yard line. On defense for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they go with the 3-4. Leroy Selman, All-Pro. Bill Kohler, a key man at nose tackle. John will talk more about him later. And Wally Chambers, the veteran who has been injury-riddled. The linebackers are the key on this team, and Lewis has been outstanding. Nofziger, number 51, a free agent, is in there in place of Cecil Johnson. 2nd and 6 at the 32-yard line. Gain of 4. Nate Simpson can't find an opening, and he loses yardage. Back inside the 30, the defensive secondary for Tampa Bay. Mark Cotney has appeared in every one of Tampa Bay's games since the very start. He's number 33. Jarris White has been outstanding at cornerback number 45. It's a secondary that likes to keep the play in front of them. They like to force the play. They're not exceptionally fast or quick, but they can hit. So we have 3rd and 8 now following that loss at the 30-yard line. Curtis Jordan, number 25, in as a 5th defensive back. 2 wide receivers out to the left. Whitehurst has time, and his pass is complete to James Lofton at the 42-yard line, enough for a Green Bay first down. Now, is that a new formation, John?
That was a new formation, Dick. It was very interesting in that they put James Lofton in the backfield. He started out in the halfback position. Then he shifted out to wide receiver on the right side, and as we see here, He ran an out pattern and was open and made a nice comeback and reception on that play. But I think that was probably the first time that they did that this year.
13-yard play. James Lofton, who had a string of 22 straight games in which he had caught a pass broken last week. 1st and 10 at the 43. And the give is to Walt Landers, who gets free for the moment and picks up yards to about the 47-yard line. Gain of about 4 on the play. Cedric Brown, number 34, the free safety, makes the tackle.
We're going to see Cedric Brown making a lot of tackles. He was a safety that I had in Oakland years ago and that we traded to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
John McKay said last week's effort against New Orleans, the 42-14 loss, was the worst showing of the team, and that includes 1976, the first year. 2nd and 6 now at the 47. Second back, Simpson. Diagnosed that well, and the linebacker, number 57, David Lewis, his 3rd year from USC, makes the stop. That's the cornerstone of the defense, those 4 linebackers.
Well, it sure is, and that's true in a 3-man line, but in addition to that, Leroy Selman is one of the finest defensive linemen in the National Football League today.
3rd and 5. Curtis Jordan, number 25, is in a nickel defense for Tampa Bay. The Buccaneers, number 1 in the NFC overall in defense and number 1 in the NFL in pass defense. And that's what Whitehurst has done this year. He has 6 touchdown passes. 3rd and 5. He'll have time. And his pass is complete to Andra Thompson, number 89. It'll be good enough for another Packer first down. Mike Washington makes the tackle. Mixing the plays well is Whitehurst.
He is mixing the plays well. It was interesting that on the 3rd down, they didn't go again to the 3rd wide receiver. They stayed with their normal formation. Thompson ran a good hooking pattern. He pushed the corner deep and worked back and worked in front of him, and Tampa really didn't have anyone out there underneath him.
So the ball now at the 43-yard line. As you look at Andra Thompson, a converted running back. At the 43, it's 1st and 10. Green Bay in Tampa Bay territory, opening minutes. Kind of a play action. And the flip goes out to Nate Simpson. Driven out of bounds. Might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. He perhaps could have lost a yard where Davis Lewis makes the tackle. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, and it's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the National Football League is prohibited. You spent a lot of time with that man, John McKay.
He's a fine man. I've known John for 25 years. As a matter of fact, I went to the University of Oregon for 1 year, and John McKay was my coach.
2nd and 10 at the 43. In motion and a pitch to Walt Landers going wide, and he's going to get trapped for a loss. Wally Chambers, number 60, who's had that arthritic knee but may have found a home at left defensive end, and the 3-4 stormed the play.
The thing that he did is he got penetration on it, and that's the biggest thing on defense. If they can get across the line of scrimmage and make something happen in the backfield before they get the ball turned up, before the running back gets his shoulder squared, as we see here. See, he's still running lateral when Chambers was there.
3rd and 14, and this is a situation the Bucs want to see Green Bay in. Walter Tullis, number 87. Now we have 3 wide receivers as to the far left. Andra Thompson is a wingback. 3rd and 14. Pass intercepted. It is intercepted. Might have been Cedric Brown. It is Cedric Brown, who is a number 12 draft choice by Madden's Oakland Raiders, picks that one off.
It was 5 defensive backs on the other side. It looked like where they had the advantage. They had a linebacker out on one of the receivers on the right side, and I'm sure they're going to see that on the sideline and change.
Introducing the first new truck of the 80s, the new Ford, the long-distance champ. It has the longest range of any truck in America. With a standard 19-gallon tank plus optional tank, you've got a 38-gallon capacity. That gives it an estimated range with optional overdrive of 722 miles based on EPA ratings. The estimated highway is 1,102 miles. More than 1/3 the length of America on one fill-up. Ford pickups, the longest range of any truck in America.
beer tonight. Let's take turns. I thought that's that.
Sunset, the time of day when you don't just reach for a beer. You head for the mountains.
So Tampa Bay breaks the huddle following that interception by Brown. 1st and 10 on their own 32-yard line. 9:41 remaining in the first quarter, no score. Quarterback is Doug Williams, number 12. Ricky Bell, number 42, is starting in the backfield along with Jerry Eckwood, 43. Rich Wingo, the middle linebacker, makes the tackle. Eckwood has had problems fumbling as of late. He has a broken bone in his wrist and has had a cast there, and there was a question as to whether he would start. Ricky Bell had over 100 yards last week. Higgins has really emerged as a top pass receiver for Tampa Bay, and Jimmy Giles is the man they like to go to, number 88, the tight end. 2nd and 7. In motion is Morris Owens. And the give now is to Bell. He breaks it. Ricky Bell forward, stopped by Rich Wingo. And a first down for Tampa Bay. 2nd time in his career, over 100 yards rushing last week, and he breaks this for a first down.
I think we're going to watch, if we watch the lead back here, Ricky Bell, he did a great job of blocking on that corner and kicking him out.
Offensive line, Greg Roberts, the Outland Trophy winner from Oklahoma, starts at right guard. Charlie Hanna was converted from the defensive line. So in essence, they have 2 rookies on the right side. 1st and 10 at the 46 following a 19-yard pickup. Here is Eckwood going wide. Runs out of bounds, picks up about 3 yards on the play. Estes Hood, number 38, the left cornerback, makes the tackle. Green Bay Packers on defense. And Ezra Johnson did not dress. Robert Barber, who has started at both end positions, number 70, is out there. Earl Edwards, number 73, who was a free agent pickup this year. And Charles Johnson, the rookie from Maryland, number 99, the tackles. Mike Douglas has been a revelation for the Packers at number 53, and Wingo is a rookie from Alabama at the middle, number 50. 2nd and 7 now. Tampa Bay at the Packers 43. No score. Morris again in motion. And the give is to Ricky Bell. Bell inside the 40, short of a first down by about 2 yards. And Mike Douglas, the right linebacker, makes the tackle. So they're going off the left side thus far in the running game.
They are, and I think more important what they're doing is they're going away from motion. I think they have a lot of respect for this Green Bay secondary and their ability to tackle and to fill. And what they're doing is they're putting motion one way, getting the Green Bay secondary to adjust, and then they're coming back with the run away from the side of motion.
And you look at the secondary with Luke and Gray, some tough hitters in the safety position. 3rd and 1, 2 tight ends are in there now for Tampa Bay. Jim Obradovic, 86. Eckwood goes in motion. The pitch to Ricky Bell. He has the first down and more. Ricky Bell down the sidelines is brought down inside the 10-yard line. And it was the free safety, Johnny Gray, who prevented him from going all the way in. So this could be Ricky Bell's day. He gained over 90 yards last time against the Packers.
That was a fine play there. We're going to see that Eckwood comes across in motion, and then he leads Ricky Bell, and that's what 2 backs have to do. You get a great running back, but to really be great, he has to have someone leading. Ricky Bell is a great running back, and the block that Eckwood put on in leading him was a very important block.
So Bell, second to Eckwood in rushing coming into this game. Scored 2 touchdowns against the Packers. That was a 26-yard game. 1st and 10 at the 11. And Eckwood gets the call and just gets back inside the 10-yard line, maybe 2 yards, as the strong safety Steve Luke comes up to hit him.
That's one thing that Jerry Eckwood, a rookie, will learn, that when you have an inside running play to the strong side, you really have to keep it inside, because you can't bounce it outside, because you don't have a blocker for the strong safety. There is no lead blocker on Luke, and that's what happened.
Gordon Jones, number 84, rookie from Pitt, who has been hampered with injury, comes into the game, replaces Morris Owens. 2nd and 8 at the 9-yard line. Williams will throw. Touchdown, Ricky Bell. All alone, Ricky Bell out of the backfield. And Tampa Bay makes it look easy on their first drive.
That was a great drive, and it was a great reception by Ricky Bell and a throw by Doug Williams. The Green Bay Packers were in a double zone. They doubled both outside receivers, and there was really no one left for Ricky Bell. They both ran out to the outside receivers on their respective side. It was a great read by quarterback Doug Williams.
Second touchdown reception of the year for Ricky Bell, who had gains of 19 and 26 yards on the ground in the drive. Neil O'Donoghue to attempt the point after touchdown. And Tampa Bay near perfect. After that interception by Cedric Brown, they drive the field and draw first blood in this important Central Division battle. So we have exactly 6 minutes to play in the first quarter. Tampa Bay leads Green Bay 7-0.
There are times when any investor needs security. Protection from the unknown. Low-risk investments with a solid return. We know where the best ones are, because our strength, instinct, and resourcefulness is unmatched by any other investment firm. Merrill Lynch, a breed apart.
Here comes the Kmart 672, the powerful car battery that's completely maintenance-free. Hook the 672 to this electric winch, and it can pull this 44-ton diesel locomotive. The Kmart 672, packed with power to deliver sure starts. If it can pull this 44-ton locomotive, you better believe it can start your car. Check it out at most Kmart automotive departments across the USA, where quality auto parts are Kmart priced.
Dear Great Pumpkin.
Monday, it's ghosties and ghoulies and things that go bump in the night. It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, Monday at 8, 7 Central.
Tampa Bay fans enjoying it so far. The Bucs lead 7-0. That was the drive. 7 plays, 68 yards. And Ricky Bell, a 9-yard touchdown reception. It was Williams' 12th touchdown pass of the year. You saw Odom deep for Green Bay. A line drive sails out of the end zone, and the Packers will take over at the 20-yard line. In the first quarter, the Miami Dolphins lead New England 3-0. Uwe von Schamann kicked a 53-yard field goal for the Dolphins to give them the lead with 11 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Very good start for the state of Florida.
And the winner of that game will take over sole possession of first place in the AFC Eastern Division.
Two big games, that one and this one.
So David Whitehurst going back to work. His interception was the 7th of the year. He has been sacked 24 times coming into this game. 1st and 10 at the 20 out of the I formation. The up back, Walt Landers, 42. But it's Simpson, the second back, who barrels ahead and gets good yardage straight ahead. More than 5, perhaps 6 yards on the play.
That's really what you want to do against a three-man line, and it's what everyone tries to do. You don't want to run right and left and laterally against it. You want to run straight at it and just get them pushed back off the line, cut off pursuit, and make your yardage that way.
Picked up 7, it's 2nd and 3 at the 27. Now Landers, same place up the middle, but Leroy Selman was right there to bring him down. Number 63. Fine play by Leroy Selman, who diagnosed it perfectly. So they're short of a first down.
Landers was going to cut that back, and that's one thing about hustling defensive linemen. They don't allow any cutbacks. You see, he started there. There was no hole. He stopped, and he started to cut back, and there's Leroy Selman right there meeting him from the backside.
So now it's 3rd and 1, and John Thompson, the rookie tight end from Utah State, number 83, is in there. 3rd and 1 at the 30-yard line. Landers doesn't make it. Pushed back, and Bill Kohler, number 77, the nose tackle. And we're going to talk about that deal that sent Dave Pear to the Oakland Raiders that opened things up and allowed Tampa Bay to draft a couple of people. Kohler has done a great job.
Kohler has done a great job. I know John McKay is very happy with the play of Kohler. I'll tell you, that was great short yardage defense. Green Bay just ran the fullback in straight ahead with no lead.
Dave Beverly averaging over 40 yards a kick. And Danny Reese, number 46, is back. at the 21. Gets to the 35. And Jim Gato, number 51, makes the tackle. So Green Bay thus far have been stymied in their attempts to move the ball. They had a couple of first downs on passes, but then the interception, and Tampa Bay has the lead. We'll return in a moment.
Marvin and I just love to go camping in our Pinto wagon.
And so does our son Richard.
Right, Dad. We camp in our Pinto wagon, too.
And so do our married daughters.
Pinto's great for taking the kids. And husbands, too.
That makes 4 generations, then 4 Pinto wagons.
Introducing the 1980 Pinto wagon with the best gas mileage rating of any wagon built in America.
For camping, you need a Pinto wagon.
And someone who knows how to cook.
And I'm that someone.
Right.
Life of Georgia has millions of futures to protect. And one way we do this is with solid investments. In a hydroelectric plant in Quebec, a helicopter company in Oregon, energy research in Wyoming, a university medical complex in Alabama, the city of Atlanta, and many others. We're Life of Georgia. We're one of the largest life insurance companies in the United States, and we're working to ensure your future.
Next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular, James Scott, the light heavyweight who has to fight in Rahway State Prison, goes against Jerry Celestine. Scott was ranked number 2. He had the ranking taken away. He retired and decided to unretire. We'll have the story and the fight as Scott endeavors to get that shot, plus the final of the World's Strongest Men next Saturday, special time, 5 o'clock for the CBS Sports Spectacular. Doug Williams had a rough week, both on the field and off, but he kind of smoothed things out with the fans after having some remarks about them last week. They're on his side now, especially after that drive. 1st and 10 at the 34. Pitch back to Eckwood. Rich Wingo, middle linebacker, stops Jerry Eckwood. And there's a flare up there. Gain of 3, 2nd down and 7 at the 32-yard line.
As we watch Jerry Eckwood walk back to the huddle, we see on his wrist that he has both wrist tape. He had a broken bone in there, and that's been bothering him some.
Make it the 37. Jerry Eckwood, the rookie from Arkansas, came on with a splash in the opening game against Detroit. 2nd and 7. Bell hit at the 40. It'll be 3rd and 4. Stopped by the middle of the line. John McKay said his team gave about 110% in the first 5 games and maybe 75%. And as you pointed out, are they the 5-0 team or the 2-loss team the past 2 weeks? And I guess we'll find out something of that today.
I think we will, and that's what John McKay is wondering. We talked with John yesterday, and he was saying that he hopes that they can play like they did today and like they played the first 5 games.
3rd and 4 at the 40-yard line. 2:35 remaining in the first quarter. Williams will throw, and it's incomplete. He's had a tendency to drill the ball hard. And Isaac Higgins was his intended receiver, and I guess finesse is something it takes a little while to learn. He's only in his 2nd year.
That takes a little while, but I like to see a quarterback drill the ball anyway. You don't want that ball in the air a long time, and I think if it's downfield, that the receivers should adjust to the velocity of the ball, not the quarterback.
Odom is deep at the 20-yard line for Green Bay. Tom Blanchard with a fine punt sends Odom back inside the 15, back to the 10-yard line. Watch out from behind, and great pursuit. Curtis Jordan, one of them involved, number 25, a 49-yard punt by Tom Blanchard, who has punted for the Giants and the Saints. So Tampa Bay is doing it all right thus far with 2:21 to go in the first quarter.
From the people who brought you the Workmate comes the incredible bench top. You can put it on a table or clamp it to a chair or use it on the roof or almost anywhere. It goes up in the attic or the basement down below. There's almost no place the bench top won't go. Black & Decker's Bench Top Workmate, portable work center and vise. It turns the whole world into a workshop.
Introducing the 1980 Ford Fairmont, the right idea for today.
Aren't you glad you bought a Fairmont? The right idea for today. Aren't you glad you thought of Fairmont?
Fairmont is the right idea for today, with even higher 4-cylinder mileage than last year. And in 6s with 4-speed transmission, no car beats Fairmont's estimated MPG.
Aren't you glad you bought a Fairmont?
Glad, glad, glad.
The right idea for today.
Next Sunday, it's a CBS NFL doubleheader. Check local listings for the games and times in your area. A super Sunday of football. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
So Tampa Bay will be at Minnesota. Green Bay is back in Florida against Miami. Games you'll see next week on CBS. 1st and 10 now at the 14-yard line. Tampa Bay's defense has been outstanding thus far. And a loss on the play. Nate Simpson behind the line. Now you're looking at the #1 defense in the NFC. Overall, they have not given Green Bay much room here.
They sure haven't, and again, that was caused by penetration. The inside linebacker came up over the guard and made something happen in the backfield, and it's very difficult to run the ball when defensive players are in the offensive backfield.
Randy Crowder, number 71, was in there as a 4th lineman, and Nafziger, 51, is back in at linebacker. We're back to 3-4. 2nd and 10. No gain on the play. Whitehurst chased out. His pass is complete, and we'll have a 1st down. Paul Kaufman, the tight end, has dragged several Bucs with him. And a fine play for the free agent from Kansas who won the job in camp. A good catch and a good play after the catch.
That was a good play after the catch. He reminded me of Dave Casper, where he's not going to let one defender bring him down. We see Whitehurst scramble here, and then he's going to find Kaufman across the field and makes a nice throw. Now watch Kaufman right here. He takes 1, 2, a 3rd misses, and now they come back a 3rd. It's on him, and finally it takes 3 or 4 to get him down, and his own man may have helped a little.
Cotney and Curtis Brown had to come in on the play. And number 87, Walter Tullis, is in at wide receiver for the Packers. 1st and 10. Looked like he was going for the ball. Number 42, Walt Landers, carried for a couple, make it Nate Simpson. Bart Starr's calling the plays and sending him out to Whitehurst, who has some plays taped to his wrist.
What he does, Bart Starr gives the play to Zeke Bartkowski, who then signals it to Dave Whitehurst, and then he calls it in the huddle.
2nd and 6 at the 39, so it's like a third base coach giving a sign to a batter, whether to sacrifice or not. 2nd down and 6 out of the eye. Simpson carried last time, and he has it again. Maybe 1.5 yards, that's all. David Lewis, number 57, who has been brilliant against the run. He has been the best linebacker for Tampa Bay, although Dewey Selman is considered the quarterback out there. Clock runs down, and there's the gun, and Tampa Bay should be very happy indeed because they've dominated the game. That's the end of the 1st quarter with the score. The Bucs 7, the Packers nothing.
Now, Billy, you know trucks.
Yep.
And we come to this Ford test track to see if they've been doing the incredible things they've been bragging about.
Yep.
How about this gas-saving 6-cylinder engine they're putting in the Bronco this year? Incredible.
It's frisky, all right.
And these new aerodynamic designs they've been shouting incredible about.
Well, them configurations do help to reduce wind resistance and drag.
Billy, what we gotta know is, can these trucks really take it?
Sweetness? I'm gonna find that out right now. Don't mind me.
Ford Motor Company has redesigned its entire line of light trucks to save gas, but we haven't stopped building them tough. If you could test one the way we do, you'd say incredible.
Is she tough, Billy?
She's incredible!
After a long, hard day, come up to the beer with a taste as smooth as its name. Busch. Head for the mountains.
We're at the start of the second quarter here in Tampa, Florida. This is Dick Stockton along with John Madden. The Bucs lead at 7-0. They're the third down conversion so far. The Packers have a 3rd and 5 at their own 40-yard line, and 3 wide receivers are in the game. Kaufman, the tight end, now moves over to the left. So it's strong side left. And in motion comes Andre Thompson. Whitehurst is going for Lofton, and he overthrows him. Jarris White was covering on the play. So it's 4th down, and they'll punt.
That's the one we were talking about. The Buccaneers went to their 5 defensive backs. The last time they had all their defensive secondary strength towards the tight end, and this time the Green Bay Packers went away from that strength. And we see here he was open on that play.
You saw Danny Reese deep for Tampa Bay at the 10, and Dave Beverly is kicking on a low snap. And they'll down it there at the 17-yard line. So Tampa Bay will take over there. Mike Wellman, number 65, was covering. Well, tonight on CBS starts with the award-winning 60 Minutes. Then the laughs are on the house at Archie Bunker's place, followed by One Day at a Time. The comedy continues on Alice, followed by The Jeffersons. And don't miss Pernell Roberts as Trapper John M.T. Fine shows on tonight on CBS. 42-yard punt for David Beverly, who's had his highs and lows this year. 1st and 10 at the 18 for Tampa Bay. They lead at 7-0. The lone setback is Ricky Bell, 42. Bell might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. Robert Barber, number 70, originally with Pittsburgh, makes the tackle. Well, the Dolphins now lead at 10-0. Bob Greasy has thrown a 13-yard touchdown pass to tight end Bruce Hardy, and Miami is off and running against the Patriots. You saw where Cincinnati was leading 7-0, and the New York Jets leading Oakland 7-0 as well, as Richard Todd hit Wesley Walker 21 yards.
That's one we didn't talk about earlier.
For good reason, John.
Right.
2nd and 8.
Out of sight, out of mind.
At the 20. In motion is Morris Owens. Williams throws complete to Giles, the tight end, a 1st down. As Wingo and Gary Weaver combine to make the stop on Jimmy Giles, the man the Buccaneers like to go to in key situations. He is their 2nd leading receiver.
People talk about throwing the ball too hard or too fast or too much velocity. There's no way you can. And I think Doug Williams showed it that time. He zipped it into Giles. They had motion. They doubled the motion man, and Giles worked in the middle, and Williams zipped it in there.
18-yard pickup, 1st down at the 38-yard line. Owens comes in motion once again. Pitch goes to Eckwood. Packers come in and force the play with Rich Wingo, number 50, in the middle, and Charles Johnson, number 99. Wingo's played tremendous football for a team that lost John Anderson and Michael Hunt from the linebacker position. And Wingo and Douglas have been admirable at that spot. There's Wingo, a number 7 draft choice from Alabama.
I'm very impressed with Rich Wingo. I've watched him in a couple games this year, and he's a very aggressive player. He's in on everything.
2nd and 11 at the 37 now. Bell finds a hole up the middle. Finally, Barber brings him down.
He found a hole which in turn happened to be a cutback hole, as we'll see here on the replay. It starts off strong side. He's going to run, then he bounces back to the weak side or away from the side he started. And again, there wasn't good pursuit or hold there. We saw that earlier where Leroy Selman came across and made a great play. The Packers didn't do that, and they're in a 3-man line also now.
You saw Bell, 6 carries, 65 yards. He came into the game averaging nearly 5 yards a rush. Tony Davis, number 27, is in the game. Williams under pressure, being chased by Barber. He completes the pass to Jimmy Giles, and a superb catch. Jimmy Giles on a good low catch. And another 1st down for Tampa Bay.
Giles had a great secondary reaction on that. He was running a hook in the middle. And we'll see here, he'll be in the middle. Doug Williams was looking, he was covered. Then Giles worked back to the outside. It was a great read between the quarterback and the tight end because that wasn't his original pattern.
First and 10 at the 45. Eckwood and Bell are the setbacks. Morris will come in motion, 85. Bell almost brought down from behind, and it took number 46, Steve Luke, to bring him down. It was Earl Edwards who had a grab on Bell. They took Ricky Bell over Tony Dorsett.
Ricky Bell looks like he's telling the official he thought it was a face mask, and maybe it could have been, but Ricky Bell is a great cutback runner. That was the thing that he learned at USC from that I formation. You start one way and you cut back, and we'll see if it was a face mask. Here we see him cutting back to the middle, and it looked like something did make his head go back a little.
Johnny Davis, number 38, second year back, and a bull of a bruiser from Alabama, carries at 2nd and 4 and picks up a couple. Charles Johnson, the rookie, makes the tackle straight up. Williams has been sacked only one time this year. He has now 12 touchdown passes, but coming into the game had completed only 37%, which is awfully low.
It's low, but I also think it's misleading because Doug Williams doesn't throw that short stuff, and John McKay doesn't want him to. John McKay says if we're going to throw it, get it up the field and throw it. We don't have to throw it in our own backfield.
Ricky Bell is now a tailback, number 42. Davis, 38, the up back, and Ricky Bell piled on immediately by Earl Edwards. Trying to get that first down, and they have it. So the Bucs have opened it up when they've had to, and they've run inside, and good cutback running by Ricky Bell has marked this first half.
They sure have. They put rookie Johnny Davis in there again, and he led for the play. And Coach McKay likes Davis, and I think we're going to see more and more of him today. And I think as the season goes on, the Buccaneer fans are going to see more and more of him playing along with Ricky Bell.
Well, he can block. He can get a tough couple of yards when you need it. Ricky Bell. And a fine play by Wingo, the linebacker, at the 33-yard line. Wingo's been all over the place, and I understand that he was almost cut. He was worried that he might have been cut before the season started. As you look at Bart Starr and Zeke Bratkowski. Terry Jones, number 63, who came off of injured reserve last week and performed superbly against Detroit, replaces Earl Edwards at left tackle. Bart Starr in his 5th year. 2nd and 8 at the 33. Eckwood back in there, 43 for Tampa Bay. He flips it out to Eckwood. Eckwood inside the 30. Eckwood still going, and Jerry Eckwood fighting for the goal line. Penalty marker down. Our first penalty of the game, as Eckwood is out of bounds, short of the goal line. Mike McCoy, the right cornerback, finally brought him down. And we'll have a clip against Tampa Bay, so nullify it.
There was a great block out in front initially that sprung Eckwood right here. Right after he catches the ball, we're going to see the block right there on Douglas. And that was the block that sprung him by Greg Horton as he led out there. Now the clip must have occurred down there towards the goal line.
Pick it up from Fred.
Personal foul, clipping, number 88. First down.
It's on the tight end, Jimmy Giles. Fred Silver, our referee.
That was away from the play because it was a weak side screen, so Jimmy Giles had to come all the way across the field to get into it to clip someone because the onside blocking was great.
There's Giles, 1st and 10 at the 17, but Tampa Bay was within a yard of the goal line. They're still threatening, 8:22 to go in the half. Morris Owens in motion.
Look out, look out.
Bell gets a couple inside the 15. Wingo again, the middle linebacker, makes the play.
Wingo again, Tampa's trying to use that motion to get the shift of the secondary and then come back against it, but they haven't done anything yet to take care of Wingo.
Jim Gano, number 51, comes in as a 4th linebacker now for Green Bay. as Charles Johnson goes out. 2nd and 7 at the 14. Johnny Davis, number 38, enters the ball game. And Ricky Bell gets a breather. 7-0, Tampa Bay leading second quarter. Eckwood gets by one man and wins his way to the 10-yard line. Robert Barber makes the tackle. So it'll be 3rd and 3 now at the 10. Certainly Tampa Bay in solid field goal position.
You know, Eckwood has had some fumbling problems this year. He's a rookie. Of course, he has the cast on his wrist, but the other thing is he really fights for yardage, and I would take that anytime. Sometimes you're going to get some fumbles, but when a guy will twist and turn and fight and get that extra yards, sometimes it's worth it.
Ricky Bell comes back in with 10 carries, 77 yards, 3rd and 3 at the 10, and the pitch is to Bell, and Bell inside. Does he get to the goal line? Penalty marker down. Penalty marker thrown right at the play. Did not go over. Johnny Gray finally tackled him. He did not go over.
Giles did a great job of blocking on that play. He really stayed with his man and took him all the way downfield towards the goal line.
It's a face mask call against Green Bay, and it really doesn't matter because they'd have 1st and goal anyway. They'll just move it half the distance. Jim Gano might have been the guilty party. Let's pick it up.
Here we see the play again. We see Giles pushing out and staying with his man all the way to the sideline, and then it gets to be a one-on-one situation on the goal line.
It was Gano who was guilty. Johnny Davis and now Ricky Bell in motion. 1st and goal at the 1. Touchdown! Doug Williams carries himself. And Doug Williams has scored a touchdown to give Tampa Bay a 13-0 lead. His first touchdown rushing this year.
We'll see here, the last time they had a short yardage play, they put it back in motion, and then they ran to that side on a sweep. This time they got in a goal line play. They went to motion, and Doug said, I'll just keep it myself and take it in. Not bad.
O'Donohue at the point after, 6:51 remaining in the first half. And it's 14-0 in favor of the Bucs. We have a backfield in motion call, and they may have to do it again. Illegal procedure.
It was legal procedure. The left guard moved. I saw that. I don't know what he was moving for. He's not going anywhere. There's no reason for him to move. All he has to do is sit there. That was a silly penalty. You know, I met Doug Williams at the airport the other night, and I was amazed and impressed how big he was. I mean, he is really something. He is really a physical quarterback.
He's solid.
Yeah, and he impressed me standing in the airport. Now he's impressing me out here.
Ball start. Center.
It was a left guard, Fred.
All right, Horton's the left guard. Wilson, the man he called it on, is the center. So now they're going to try the point after from the 14. Makes it a 24-yard kick for O'Donohue. It's perfect. Kick is good, and it's now officially 14-0 in favor of Tampa Bay. They have played it perfectly on defense. They have moved the ball when they've had to on offense, and Green Bay right now is in trouble.
Why have over 1 million people Midas-sized their brakes? Was it because they know Midas has brake mechanics that are specially trained? Was it because they know Midas has the right brake parts in stock? Or was it because they know Midas has over 20 years experience under the car? Well, whatever the reason, it certainly was no accident. It pays to Midas-size your brakes.
For every part of your life, nationwide.
At Nationwide Life Insurance, our agents know that when you're just starting out, you can't afford a lot. Yet you need thorough protection and something more. Life insurance capable of growing as your responsibilities grow. to make sure every member of your family will always be properly protected. Nationwide life insurance plans for every part of your life.
Nationwide is on your side.
The key there is that Tampa Bay used up almost 8 minutes on the clock in their second touchdown drive. And so now, John Madden, we have to look at a situation in which Green Bay has fallen behind. We have seen some of a 3 wide receiver offense. What do you think?
I think we're probably going to see more of that, and I think we may start seeing it some on first and second down.
Odom now cuts away. He's got one man and cuts inside and is down at the 31-yard line. He said, oops, I'm going the other way, and Odom gets to the 31-yard line. So let's see whether they open the offense more. Of course, Bart Starr did that against the Patriots, and it resulted in a resounding victory over New England 27-14 on Monday night a few weeks ago.
And he was very successful with it. And as we look at Bart now, they've been starting where they've been running on the first and second down, putting the third wide receiver in on third. And maybe they may start putting that third wide receiver in on first or second down.
Right now they're going with 2 wide receivers, with Lofton, number 80, to the top, Undra Thompson, 89. Randy Crowder, 71, is in there. A 4-down lineman off the defense for Tampa Bay. First and 10 at the 31. A keeper for Whitehurst, and he's down for a loss. That looked to be a broken play. Mike Washington brought him down.
I'm sure it was a broken play. You know, the plays are called from the sideline, and it looked like it was supposed to be a trap to the left. The Buccaneers were in a 4-man line, and they were shifted to the weak side. Green Bay was going to trap or run back to the strong side, and everyone knew it except the halfback.
That's what Whitehurst has done thus far in this game. Curtis Jordan, number 25, is in as a 5th defensive back. Both wide receivers, Thompson and Lofton, now split to the left, 2nd and 14 at the 27. Whitehurst, he'll have time out to the side to the running back, Nate Simpson. So he went kind of cross field and did not pick up much, if anything.
No, and he's not satisfied with that either. Really, you know, if you're going to throw the ball, you want to get it up the field and make something out of it. You don't want to be making a yard or 2. And I'm sure that he was looking downfield. He was throwing against 5 defensive backs. He was trying to find something open downfield. He couldn't. It was really fine coverage by the Bucs.
Now they're going with the 3 wide receivers as Walter Tullis, 87, replaces Simpson, but you expect it on 3rd and long.
Right.
Got to do it on 1st down. 28-yard line. Green Bay shut out thus far. They haven't moved it except for one instance in the first series. Penalty marker down. I think Tampa Bay was really ready to come on that one.
Well, it was against Green Bay. Yeah, the linebackers were jumping in there, and Leotis Harris just flinched, and of course that then is against the offense.
Offense, number 69. False start.
You saw what the rule is there, that if the offensive man is pulled offside, if he moves backwards, then it's against the offense, and that's what Leotis Harris did.
3rd and 18 at the 23. Tullis and Thompson out to the left. Lofton to the right. A blitz. He gets rid of it in a hurry. Lofton has one man to beat. James Lofton at midfield. And Lofton is finally out of bounds at the 32-yard line. He is out of bounds at the 32.
He was out of bounds. He was just getting a little practice, but that was a great read by David Whitehurst. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers were in their 5 defensive back. They blitzed. They brought the safeties, and Whitehurst just dropped back and hit Lofton as we look at it again.
Isolated one-on-one here.
You see, they knew exactly what to expect when they saw that safety come in. They knew that Lofton was going to be one-on-one with no help to the inside. So he just came back and popped him, gave him the ball, and it was a good play for the Green Bay Packers.
He was up against Jarris White, a 44-yard play for the Pack. 1st and 10 at Tampa Bay's 33. Trailing 14-0 are Green Bay. Nate Simpson moving in front for a couple of yards. They have not had any success rushing straight ahead thus far.
No, and they haven't had a lot of success on their first down plays, and I think that pretty soon they'll get to a mixture of running and passing, maybe some 3 wide receivers on first down, maybe a little more play pass on first down.
Cleveland, Cincinnati are tied 7-7. Brian Sipe, a 6-yard touchdown pass to Reggie Rucker in that AFC Central scrap. Gain of 2, 2nd and 8 at the 31. Packers have to get on the board sooner or later. 4:20 to go in the first half. Whitehurst fakes, and he flips. It's complete inside the 30-yard line. Good, quick thinking by David Whitehurst to Nate Simpson on the receiving end there. Let's see Simpson.
You're going to see here, he comes out of the backfield and just turns, but Whitehurst had a run again and scrambled to his side, and we see Simpson making the same adjustment that Giles had made for Tampa Bay earlier. They run one pattern, the quarterback has to scramble, the receiver scrambles with him.
Nafziger, the linebacker, comes out, and Curtis Jordan, 25, is in as a 5th defensive back. 3 wide receivers now for Green Bay, 3rd and 6 at the 29. He goes to Landers. Landers driving and has the first down. Walt Landers keeps the drive going as he is brought down at the 22-yard line.
That was a good call and good mixture by the Packers there. They had been going the 3 wide receivers and going downfield with the ball. This time they ran them off with the wide receivers and threw a screen out there to the right. There was only one Tampa Bay man there. They missed him, and he made the tackle out there. That was a great defensive play also.
One of your former players, Rick Bunnis, number 53, is in at linebacker, and Randy Crowder, 71, is in there as a 4th down lineman. 1st and 10 at the 22 for the white-shirted Packers. And the pitch goes to Simpson. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. Good pursuit by David Lewis, number 57, the left outside linebacker.
The corner, Jarris White, was up in the backfield also, and that's what's been giving Green Bay more problems than anything. And their running game is that on each running play, they've had penetration. They've never been able to seal off the line of scrimmage and the corner. They've always been in a position where there's been a Tampa Bay Buccaneer in their backfield on running plays.
Former Miami Dolphin, acquired in a trade by Tampa Bay. They've made some important and sometimes controversial trades to build up. 2nd and 10 now, 22, and the whistle blows. And the clock may have run down. The 2-minute warning. We have a 2-minute warning as John McKay on the sideline gets set to talk to his defense. We'll be back in a moment.
Melvin Stark, CPA, is about to break free. Yahoo! In Ford Mustang, a sports car for the 80s. Mustang performs and handles like a sports car. Yahoo! Precise, sure-footed, yet Mustang delivers the mileage of an economy car. Mustang, a sports car for the 80s.
Gal, we're stepping out tonight.
Melvin, is that you?
Yep. Yes.
Next August, I'll be an air traffic controller. Guaranteed.
10 months from now, I'll be training in electronics. Guaranteed.
Even if you're still in school, you can join the Army now and take up to 12 months to report for duty, with your choice of training guaranteed in writing.
Next September, I'll be in Europe. Guaranteed.
This is the Army, and we're giving guarantees. Call this toll-free number now.
You're the ski shooting expert. What am I doing wrong?
Let's talk about it over a beer. Better yet, over a Michelob Light.
A light beer? Since when?
Since Michelob Light.
The rich, full-bodied taste of Michelob Light. Compare it to any beer you like.
This Michelob Light's one fine beer. Now, if I can only raise my scores.
Hey, you want really high scores?
Yeah.
Go back to golf.
Michelob Light. Compare the taste to any beer you like.
Yeah.
Benny Malone, an 8-yard touchdown run. Washington leads Philadelphia. Eagles off to a great start. They beat Washington in their earlier clash. Tampa Bay back to the 3-4. Oakland is on the board. Jets still lead 7-3 second quarter. But right here, Green Bay is trying to move closer. They're trailing 14-0, second and 10 at the 22. Strong side is left. That's where Kaufman lines up, the tight end. Whitehurst, deep drop, up the middle, almost intercepted. The linebacker, number 57, David Lewis, had it and dropped it. It was not a good pass by Whitehurst, intended for the tight end Kaufman.
Again, that was really good coverage by the Buck defense. They had everyone doubled, and Whitehurst just had to pick one that was open the most. And of course, he really didn't have anything downfield. He had 3 receivers downfield, and they were all doubled, and it all looked like that. I think that they're having more success when they're in the 3 wide receiver and they spread that Buck defense out, which they're going to do on this play.
Right they are. Curtis Jordan, the 5th defensive back for Tampa Bay. Landers, 42, the 1 setback. And it passes over the head of Landers, out of bounds. 4th down. Whitehurst had Landers and just threw it over, and so Chester Marcole is entering the game right now. He has had rough going. He has hit on only 3 of 7 attempts this season.
They tried the same thing on that play. They put in their 3 wide receivers, ran them all deep, and then tried to get a screen. The first time they did it to the right, that time to the left. I like to throw the ball down the field on 3rd down.
We have a penalty here, and let's see what Fred Silva tells us. Maybe against Green Bay, and it is, and that's tough as far as the field goal attempt is concerned.
Offense, number 54, illegally downfield.
Larry McCarron, the center.
That'll happen on a screen pass where he's blocking and he starts out, he's leading the screen. Sometimes as he comes out to get into the screen, he gains ground instead of staying behind the line of scrimmage.
Is that a timing situation?
It is a timing situation, and they can't get upfield.
3rd and 20 now at the 32-yard line, and we have another whistle.
They're having a little conference there. Oops.
Now, is that an obvious call to take the penalty in a situation like this? Giving Whitehurst another shot?
Yes, to give him another shot and get him out of field goal range. I think that's what they were trying to do, is get rid of that possible field goal. But what McCarron did on that play, my center Dave Dalby used to do that a lot, and we used to have to run him against a fence so he wouldn't get upfield as he went laterally. I'd say lateral doesn't mean up.
3rd and 20 at the 32. Whitehurst wants to pick up some yardage now so Marcole can have a decent shot. Whitehurst fires. It's caught at the 15-yard line by Walter Tullis, number 87. They're short of a first down by 4 yards, but Marcole will have a great shot now compared to what he had before.
I'll tell you a thing we're going to see here again is where Whitehurst scrambles. The Bucs had great secondary coverage, as we'll see, on all the Green Bay Packer receivers. They were all covered. Now, as Whitehurst starts to scramble, Tullis scrambled too, and then was able to get in position to make a reception.
A 33-yard attempt by Marcole. He's 2 for 5 from this distance this season. And Marcole's kick is up. It is no good, off to the right. So despite having the best shot, Marcole missed. And he's now 3 for 8 on the year, and so all of that work by the Green Bay Packers goes for naught. And with 1 minute and 1 second to go in the first half, the Bucs retain their 14-0 lead.
When we see the ambassador's Mercedes, we roll.
The surprisingly affordable Granada, sometimes mistaken for a Mercedes.
There he is. Roll.
Albert, are you speeding?
No, dear.
People in Washington sure are friendly.
I think they like our new Granada.
Are you sure this is the way to the Applebound's new house?
I hope so.
Oh, look, Albert. They bought a Colonial.
The 1980 Ford Granada, a modern American classic.
If anyone looks forward to the start of a new day, it's a Big A Auto Parts store, because each new day is filled with challenging customer requests for quality parts and friendly service. Take yesterday, for example.
Got an oil filter for a Ferrari?
Do you hook the black one to the plus or minus?
I need heavy-duty shocks.
A muffler for a Merc.
Boy, have you got metric tools.
Quality parts, friendly service. That's Big A.
Have you got a cup of coffee?
Sure.
The hard-working auto parts store.
7 copiers not only make great copies, they also make great copy.
Financial World. Its Series 700 models are proven winners. Forbes. Savin 750 copier was an overnight success. Sales and marketing management. Savin in 1 year raced from a standing start to first place in installing machines.
In fact, last year 7 outplaced Xerox and IBM combined. We wouldn't be winning over big business unless we offered big advantages. 7, the revolutionary copiers that are winning over big business.
We'll talk more about that man very distressed right now, Chester Markle, right after this play. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. In motion comes Morris Owens. About a minute to go in the first half. Ricky Bell hemmed in, cuts inside for a couple of yards, and that's all. You got to figure after all of that yardage with your chance to get on the board, you got to make that field goal, John.
That's the thing. You know, we always talk about momentum, and I'm not sure exactly what it is, but when you do get the ball, you're driving down the field, you get an opportunity to finally put something on board, you have to do it. And if you don't, it comes back to haunt.
About Mia Pinto when I graduated from high school, because they thought it would be a perfect.
For those parents who realize that $500 isn't too much to spend to expand their child's world, Radio Shack has the perfect gift.
The TRS-80 computer, the most significant investment a parent can make. Programs for your child's education or your business, finance, and home use. Let your children discover tomorrow's technology today. The TRS-80, the biggest name in little computers. Only at Radio Shack, a Tandy company.
Ricky Bell drives short of a first down. Terry Jones makes the tackle as the clock stops with 45 seconds to go. Green Bay had taken that timeout previously, and Bell with a couple of yards, and now we have another timeout as Williams goes to talk to John McKay. Miami on the strength of another Von Schaman field goal, this from 39 yards out, leading New England 13-0. Both of those teams 5-2 coming into this contest at New England to break the tie in the AFC Eastern Division. Of course, viewers of this game will be most interested in the contest between the Bears and the Vikings, also 3-4 and also 2 games behind Tampa Bay.
I'm sure John McKay is telling Doug Williams a running play that he wants to run. They'll probably get in some type short yardage offense to pick up the first down.
Those are the outstanding shows tonight on CBS. Pernell Roberts stars in Trapper John M.D. And 60 Minutes leads it off tonight on CBS. 3rd and 2 now at the 28-yard line for Tampa Bay. 45 seconds remaining, as you see in this first half.
If Tampa Bay doesn't pick up a first down on this play, then I'm sure that Green Bay will use their 3rd timeout and try and get one more shot at some type of score before they go in at halftime.
Packers have 1 timeout left. 2 tight ends in there. Obradovic 86 along with the starter Giles 88. Eckwood or Bell tripped up short of a first down. Clock continues to run. Rich Wingo forced the play for the Packers. He has had an outstanding first half on defense.
Well, he's an outstanding player, and he's one of those players that plays a run from sideline to sideline, not the inside or from tackle to tackle or handles the middle. He plays from sideline to sideline, and that's what the great ones do. And I say that someday that's what he's going to be.
Green Bay has called their last timeout. Don't forget, next Saturday at 4:30 from Aqueduct Racetrack, live, the Turf Classic. So the Packers have used their final timeout of this first half, and on 4th down, Tampa Bay will kick, and Green Bay hopes to generate something. They trail 14-0. Odom will be deep for the Packers at his 35-yard line. There's Steve. Tom Blanchard will kick inside the 15. Ricky Bell has gained 94 yards and 14 carries in this first half. Odom calls for a fair catch at the 34. Penalty marker down.
You know, an interesting thing that I always wanted to do in this situation is after a fair catch, you can have a free kick. And I've always wanted in my 10 years of coaching to get that fair catch, take the time to change of possession when we get a timeout here and kick the free kick. Yeah.
I think the Bears once did that, didn't they, in the late 60s?
The Bears did it. Cincinnati did it with Paul Brown not too many years ago, but after the clip, there's no possibility. Of course, there wasn't a possibility before.
On the run back, number 20, personal foul, clipping.
It's Wiley Turner, the 5'9" rookie from Angelo State, was clipping on the play. So it's first down at the 20-yard line for David Whitehurst with 25 seconds to go and no timeouts remaining as you look at some of the beautiful people here at Tampa Stadium this afternoon. Tullis, 87, split to the left. There are 3 wide receivers. Up the middle comes Landers for a couple of yards. Clock running down, and Packers are out of timeouts, lining up without the huddle. Best thing to do here is just to go long and hope for the best, maybe, huh?
Or just run out the clock. I think we're going to see more of this formation and what they did on first down in the second half.
This should be the last play of the first half, and the pass is complete to Kaufman, and he's out of bounds, and that'll do it for the first half. So it's been Tampa Bay on offense and defense. That's the end of the first half of the score. The Buccaneers 14 and the Packers nothing.
I'm a mileage nut. I checked all the figures, and I got a Ford Fairmont. Yeah, 4-cylinder mileage is even higher than last year's. And do they have a 6-cylinder? With standard 4-speed transmission, no 6, foreign or domestic, beats Fairmont's estimated MPG. Datsun's 4-speed doesn't beat it. Toyota doesn't beat it. Citation, the GMX cars don't beat it.
Harold!
Aren't you glad you bought a Fairmont?
You bet your gas can.
The right idea for today.
Natural light beer, please. Actually, I guess you're supposed to say, give me a natural or make it a natural. Okay, so I'm a maverick. But, you know, I just walked out of a bar because they didn't have natural light beer.
You must have been humidified.
So was I.
I empathize with you. You know, a cabin without the smooth, clean taste of this light beer is downright unnatural.
You know, that's so true. That's why I came in here for a natural. There you go. I just said natural. It goes to show you. I guess you hear something so often, you naturally just follow along like a flock of sheep. Monkey see, monkey do.
All right, back at Tampa Stadium, Dick Stockton and John Madden. That's our score, 14-0 Tampa Bay leading Green Bay. A lot of things to talk about, and you talk about third down conversion. We flash it on the screen, what's important, but what we've seen today is the importance of a first down, and I think that's hurt Green Bay, their lack of moving the ball on first down.
I think that's true, Dick. It doesn't seem like they're able to get anything going on first down. They're always fighting the second and long and third and long syndrome.
All right, let's take a look at the highlights that made it what it was in this first half. Actually, the Green Bay Packers were moving the ball in the first series. David Whitehurst had a couple of first downs on passes, but this one was picked off by Cedric Brown.
This is what we talked about earlier, the turnover, and this was the first turnover and only turnover of the game, and it resulted in a subsequent Tampa Bay touchdown.
Ricky Bell scored 2 touchdowns in the first game against this club. Here he is on a pitch and a good block here, and he gets good yardage to set up their first score.
That was a good run by Ricky Bell and a very good lead block by rookie Jerry Eckwood.
Doug Williams is really having a turnabout game, and this is the first Tampa touchdown.
This was the play where they Green Bay doubled both outside receivers. Doug Williams read it well, went to Ricky Bell, who was not covered.
What about the block that really helped Eckwood on a screen we're going to see as Eckwood comes out of the backfield to set up the second score?
This was a screen to the weak side. Guard Greg Horton pulls out to the left side, as we see right there, makes a good lead block on Douglas, and that's it to the goal line for Jerry Eckwood.
Let me ask you this, John. Do you think we will see considerably more of the 3 wide receiver offense for Green Bay? Now we're going to take a look against the Tampa Bay drive and Ricky Bell once again.
This again here, the thing that Ricky Bell has gotten and Jerry Eckwood is The Tampa Bay offensive line has stopped penetration, and they've had good lead blocks on the corners.
And Williams took it in himself here. As you see, Bell went in motion away from the play, and Doug Williams carried it himself from the 1-yard line for the second score. But what about that third wide receiver offense that seems to be the best thing that the Packers have done?
Well, of course, the Green Bay Packers have injuries in their offensive backfield. I think they're going to have to adjust by using more of the 3 wide receivers this half.
Yes, today's game is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer, who bring you the better idea, cars and trucks for the 80s. Merrill Lynch, a breed apart. And by Kmart Automotive Service Centers, where quality car products are Kmart priced.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. Ladies and gentlemen, protect your engines. The same way 31 out of 35 of this year's Indy 500 drivers do in their everyday driving with Valvoline motor oil. Because stop-and-go driving can punish your engine as much as 500 miles of speedway driving can punish an IndyCar's engine. And Valvoline can take the heat, protects your engine, helps make it last. Ladies and gentlemen, protect your engines with Valvoline. It's not just for winning races.
From the people who brought you Die-Hard batteries, road handler tires, and Steady Rider shock absorbers comes the Sears Muzzler. The aluminized muffler that's only $17.99. It's so tough, Sears promises the muzzler will last as long as you own your American-made car, or return it for refund or replacement free. And if Sears installed it, they'll install the new one free. The muzzler, only $17.99. Installation and additional parts extra at Sears.
Hi, I'm Dick Butkus. As middle linebacker for the Chicago Bears, it was my job to seek out and destroy running backs. I love playing pro football, but my biggest thrill came with my election into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. After several visits here, I am prouder than ever to be a member. Here is a modern, up-to-the-minute sports showplace with something to interest every fan of every age and every team. The pro football story from its very first game right up to the present season is told in many colorful and interesting ways. You can spend an hour or several hours and enjoy every minute. The Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio is open every day of the year except Christmas. I hope you'll visit here soon. And when you come, be sure to see some of my pals. Gail Sayers, George Hallis, Ray Nitschke. By the way, I hope you'll stop and see my bus too.
The preceding announcement was furnished by the National Football League. 14-0, Tampa Bay leading Green Bay as the Buccaneers got a resounding cheer in marked contrast to the reception they got last week against New Orleans. And the sign makers are out in full force. That's a good drawing of the Buccaneer in that helmet, John.
Yeah, and there's one for Green Bay for Rich Wingo. And the Packers never die.
He hasn't let them down today so far.
No, he sure hasn't. He's been playing a fine game.
Before the kickoff, John, you talked about this being a big week. We're seeing a lot of rookies play. Eckwood, what significance does this particular week have, especially if you're a first-year player?
This is a very big and significant week. What happens is after today's game, someone is going to tell these rookie players that the season is half over. We've played 8 games. Then they're going to count how many they've played. They've already played 12 games, which is more than a college season.
They're ready for the
and
bowl
they still have half the and they still have half the season to go. And that's very disruptive sometimes to rookies.
That's a good point. There's George Ragsdale, number 23, who has outstanding speed. That is not George Ragsdale.
He's a rookie.
He's a rookie, and he has a half a season to go. Chester Markle, who missed an important field goal for Green Bay that would have put him on the board in the first half, will kick off for the Packers. And we're underway in the second half, and a good kick. Ragsdale 5 yards in the end zone. Gets to the 20. And Jim Gaino, number 51, makes the tackle. So Tampa Bay on offense. Doug Williams, the quarterback, he completed 4 of 5 passes for 67 yards and a touchdown in the first half. There's Williams, second year from Grambling, a number 1 draft choice. The running backs, Ricky Bell, 94 yards thus far. He's averaged 6.7 yards a carry. Eckwood, 43, the other running back. Now we have 3 wide receivers as Eckwood moves in to a wing-back position. And it's Bell. Penalty marker down. Earl Edwards, number 73, makes the stop. And it looks like a Green Bay linebacker is slow getting up. The injured player is Rich Wingo, something that the Packers could ill afford. Apparently there was no penalty marker there as you look at the halftime statistics and look at the difference in yards passing. Packers 134, the Bucs 67, but Green Bay has only had 18 yards running. Pitch out, Bell, or Eckwood, and he is stopped. Coming up is Gary Weaver, number 52, a fellow you're familiar with from Oakland.
Gary Weaver was another one of those players that we had at Oakland. He played very well for us, mostly on special teams. At the end of the preseason, as we look at Gary Weaver there, at the end of the preseason, he had a hamstring injury, and we put him on waived injured, thinking that no one would claim him. Green Bay claimed him, and he's played very well for him. It was a great pickup by the Green Bay Packers.
Wiley Turner, number 20, the rookie from Angelo State, comes in as a 5th defensive back, 3rd and 8 at the 22-yard line. Williams to Eckwood. Gets by 1, gets by 2, and Jerry Eckwood's going to have a first down as he's finally driven out of bounds at the 40-yard line. He could have been stopped for a loss. Instead, he gets a Tampa Bay first down. The tackle by Wiley Turner, that 5th back.
And that was all Jerry Eckwood on that play. That wasn't a great pass or a pattern or anything. It was just a little dump off. There was no blocking or anything. He just made people miss in the open field. And that's what he does so well. And again, sometimes he may fumble the ball doing that, but sometimes you have to take a few fumbles for these types of plays. That was a big play and gave him a first down. And it was all Jerry Eckwood.
Eckwood leaves the game. He's replaced by Johnny Davis, number 38. A bruising running back, 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line for Tampa Bay. Ricky Bell hit hard, and he won't get any more. Number 53, Mike Douglas, was the first to hit him, and Charles Johnson after that. So Mike Douglas, who is playing in place of John Anderson, who's had that broken arm, leads the team in tackles. He has had a superb year. Packers now using 4 linebackers, a 3-4 at 2nd and 10. Higgins, 81 to the top of your screen. Morris Owens, you don't see him, as wide right. Bell. Wingo is back, as you saw, and he makes a good tackle there. Earl Edwards slowed him up for Rich Wingo to complete the play.
We're going to see that play again, and we're going to see that the Packers are doing a better job this half of their backside defense. When Ricky Bell starts one way, they're staying at home because they know that eventually he may come back to the other side. The first half, they were over pursuing. Ricky Bell was able to cut back with success. He hasn't been able to do it yet this half.
Ricky Bell now has 100 yards. That's the 3rd time in his career. 2nd time was last week, but he gained over 100 yards. 3rd and 7 now. Williams throws. It's incomplete. It was intended for the tight end, Jimmy Giles, and right there was Jim Gano, the 4th linebacker, number 51, and a good rush by Mike Butler, number 77. He
was on Charlie Hanna, and Williams didn't have a chance on that one. Butler took an inside pass rush, and he was right in Williams' face before he had a chance.
Odom is deep for Green Bay. Tom Blanchard will kick from the 25. Sends Odom back. And the ball will go into the end zone for a touchback. So we got a little bit too much foot and roll for Tom Blanchard. So Green Bay has a chance to get on the board after that 58-yard punt by Tom Blanchard with a couple of minutes gone by here in the 3rd quarter.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
How you holding up? I'm all right. You want to go for 10 miles? If we make it, I'll buy you a beer. If we make it, I'll buy you a lone brow.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, Let it be Lowenbrow.
Tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Announcing a gas-saving breakthrough from Ford Motor Company. The first and only automatic overdrive transmission in any American-made car.
When your car reaches about 40, Ford's new transmission automatically shifts into overdrive.
The result? Your engine runs 1/3 slower for increased highway fuel efficiency. It's one of many engineering improvements that help 1980 Ford, Mercury, and Lincoln
cars average over 120 more estimated highway miles than last year on 20 gallons of gas. That's incredible.
Automatic overdrive at Ford, Mercury, and Lincoln dealers.
Next Sunday, it's a CBS NFL doubleheader. Check local listings for the games and times in your area. A super Sunday of football. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Packers have the ball, 1st and 10 at the 20. They're trailing 14-0. Whitehurst, 10 for 13 for 134 yards and 1 interception in the first half. Carrying is Nate Simpson for a couple of yards. Simpson gained 16 yards. Landers 6. And once again, John, we're looking at that very important first down situation, and the Packers just got a couple. Washington at halftime leading Philadelphia 7-0. Oakland on the strength of a Stabler pass. Well, it's Baltimore over Buffalo 7-0. Burt Jones a 1-yard run, and Ken Stabler hit Ray Chester 25 yards, and now Oakland leads the New York Jets at the half 10-7. 2nd and 7 at the 23. Whitehurst to the 26-yard line. That was Simpson out of the backfield. They'll be 3rd and about 3, maybe 4 yards as Whitehurst goes short.
I think that's the type of play, Dick, that they would like to get going on first down, where they would end up in the 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4 situation, and that's the way that it's a lot easier to play rather than getting in that 2nd and long all the time. But 3rd and 3 isn't bad either.
Curtis Jordan, the 5th back for Tampa Bay, and Walter Tullis, 87, is a 3rd wide receiver for the Packers at the 27. And a quick toss to Lofton, tries to get by, and he does. James Lofton has a first down for the Green Bay Packers. So the quick square outs, few adjustments made, and you can see why with the play scheme that Whitehurst is not going to the wide men. He hasn't done it that much in this game either.
Well, he's hit him a few times, and I think that's a good play. You see, there they were only 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. They were able to go to 3 wide receivers, and they didn't have to go deep where they were getting all that double coverage. He was just able to hit Lofton on a quick one, get out of bounds, but still get the first down.
At the 33-yard line. Randy Crowder, number 71, is a 4th down lineman for Tampa Bay. Whitehurst goes short again, completes the pass to Lofton at midfield. In the first half, Whitehurst went 3 times to Simpson.
That's the thing I'm sure that they talked about and thought about at halftime, is that they wanted more mixture on first down, and now they're doing it. We see here they come out and they pass on first down, they get another first down. They're going to have good mixture.
He had 3 passes to Simpson, 2 to Kaufman, 1 to Landers. So most of his passes were to his backs. 1st and 10 at midfield. Quick passes by Whitehurst. He gives now to the 2nd back through, Nate Simpson. And he's inside the 45-yard line. Good acceleration by Nate Simpson, who gained 121 yards last week against Detroit. And a gain of 6, so it's 2nd and 4, and now they are a good down setup with this scheme.
I think so, and you see what happens once you let them know that you will throw on first down, you will play fake and throw the ball. Now they play that run a little looser, and you get some more holes in there.
Under Thompson, wide to the left. Tullis goes in motion. 2nd and 4. 14-0, Tampa Bay. Once again, Nate Simpson carries the ball. Close to a first down, and he has it. Another Green Bay first down as Whitehurst, as you see after every play, checks to the sideline where Bratkowski from Starr gives him the signal.
And then as we look at Whitehurst in the huddle, he also has some plays on his wrist. And that's when he doesn't get a play. You know, as a coach, it was fun to call those second and short, but those 3rd and 20, you'd let him call them from his wrist.
Packers on a drive, 1st and 10 at the 38. Play action pass, and they're going to go deep for James Lofton, and it is intercepted by Tampa Bay, and they'll hold it there for a touchback. Jarris White, the cornerback, number 45, on a deflection, makes his 3rd interception of the season. And so Green Bay's drive is stalled on the interception, 2nd key turnover for Tampa Bay today.
The fans love that, but as we go here, we see again that it's a play fake. They fake a running play. They're going to throw it to Lofton to the post, but Lofton is double covered. You see, he's, as we're going to see down here, he's covered inside out. He has 2 men on him. One gets a tip, the other one comes up the ball. I'm sure Whitehurst would love to have that pass back.
This is the Shield America Trust, shielding your car from more than rust. This is the sign of complete car carriages. Z-Bart dealers everywhere. Z-Bart, look for the shield, look for the Z-Bart shield. This is the shield of quality, backed by a lifetime warranty. Bring you protection wherever you are for as long as you own your car. Z-Bart, look for the shield, look for the Z-Bart shield.
Some guys never learn. They're still taking it on the chin. Gotcha. Norelco offers the Norelco rotary razor. Not 1 or 2 blades, but 36 blades inside 3 adjustable floating heads and a unique shaving angle for a very close shave without a nick or cut. So say hello to the Norelco rotary razor and say goodbye to Gotcha.
Monday night on CBS starts with It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, then it's Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids Halloween special, followed by MASH and WKRP in Cincinnati, and Ed Asner stars as Lou Grant, all on CBS Monday night. Whitehurst has thrown 2 interceptions. He's completed 12 of 17 for 161 yards, and Tampa Bay on their 20-yard line, 1st and 10. 14-0 in favor of the Bucs. Eckwood 43 and Bell 42 in the backs, and here's Bell. And Wingo tripped him up. The turnovers and 2 interceptions. Both times the Packers have moved the ball. Their first series and in the last series ended with an interception.
Those are the things that really kill you. You know, you can have the greatest plans in the world and ideas and players, and turnovers just seem to take so much out of you. Turnovers and missed kicks.
We've had that too.
Both.
7 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Morris Owens is in motion, and a Tampa Bay player moved as Ricky Bell carries outside, and McCoy drives him out of bounds. But the penalty.
Ricky Bell was up there in a double wing position, and he was close enough. He really didn't have to move early, but he got a little anxious. He'd been running well today, and he probably wanted to get a block for Eckwood, like Eckwood has been doing for him from time to time. What is it, Fred?
Offense, number 43, illegal motion. 2nd down.
Well, Eckwood on illegal motion, so it is 2nd and 9 at the 21.
That was Eckwood up there. I thought it was Bell up there, but Eckwood was anxious to get started blocking that linebacker for Bell again.
2nd and 9 at the 21-yard line. They haven't gone to Higgins at all today, the leading receiver on this team. Eckwood bounces off a couple and clears the 25-yard line. So it'll be 3rd and short yardage now for Tampa Bay. Jim Gano, number 51, makes the stop. So we've seen Tampa Bay, normally a 3-4 team, play a lot of 4-3, and Green Bay the other way around.
It's just the opposite, right? Green Bay's a 4-man line team, and they've been going to quite a bit of 3-man line, and then Tampa Bay, in turn, has been giving Green Bay the 4-man line. And I think that's good. I think mixture is good on defense also.
Gano's been a good special teams performer, 51. 3rd and 4 at the 26. Williams He's going to go to Hagens here, and it's knocked down. A fine defensive play by Estes Hood, number 38, who they've been picking on him a little bit lately. Don't forget, he's come on to play for Buchanan, who was traded to San Diego. Good play there, as they had to wait for the ball to come down.
Estes Hood did a nice job of being patient and waiting for the ball to come down. The ball was thrown short. Hagens had to wait, stop, and come back. But Estes Hood also came back, got his right arm around, and was able to knock the ball down.
Odom is deep at the 31-yard line. Blanchard will punt it away. End over end liner. And Odom, trying to pick up a head of steam, runs into a Tampa Bay defender at the 41-yard line. So we have now a scuffle on the field that's quelled in a hurry. Well, Green Bay has the ball, not in bad field position when we return with 5:56 to go in the third.
The more aerodynamic shape a vehicle has, the easier it slips through the air. And that's what happened to this pickup truck. Announcing the first new truck of the 80s, the new Ford. It's aerodynamically designed, so it's more slippery than last year, has less drag, with the best gas mileage rating of any American-built pickup. And there's all that Ford-built toughness, twin I-beam suspension, and big payloads too. Ford, aerodynamically designed for the fuel needs of the 80s. Built Ford Tough.
A great deal of time and care go into the production of a fine play, just as they go into the making of a fine wine. Paul Masson's Rhine Castle. The taste is smooth, flavorful, delicious. Paul Masson wines taste so good because they're made with such care. What Paul Masson said nearly a century ago is still true today. We will sell no wine before it's time.
It's a CBS Sports Special. Next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern, see the 1979 Turf Classic live. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Green Bay has played better in the second half. The interception stalled them, but their defense has certainly improved. And they're in the ball game, but they've got to get something going, get on the board. Trailing Tampa Bay 14-0 with just under 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Undra Thompson, 89, flanked to the left, and Lofton, 80 to the right. Play action pass on first down. Up the middle, Kaufman complete to the 41-yard line, and that's what you're talking about, John Madden.
That's the thing that they have to do, is get that first down play, whether it's a run, a pass, or a play pass. Get that going, make first down, make 6 or 7 yards, stay out of that second and third long as we watch the replay here where there was a good hook pattern by Kaufman in the middle.
Let's take a look at Selman now at the line of scrimmage.
You know, Stokes has been doing a good job against Selman. Of course, he gets some help. Sometimes they have 2 guys on him, but he's been doing a good job today against Leroy Selman.
20-yard play, 1st and 10. Simpson off tackle, gets a couple of yards to the 40, maybe a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9. So there we are back again to 2nd and long yardage.
Well, that'll happen sometimes, and I think, you know, sometimes you're going to run on first down, sometimes drop back, sometimes play pass. But just the mixture is good. Just the fact that he did throw some on first down. Now Tampa can't sit there and think that every time they're in first down, Whitehurst is going to run the ball.
You always picked up at least 7 on first down.
Well, one way or another, sometimes we lost 10. You know, sometimes we had that holding penalty.
Randy
I haven't
Crowder.
seen one.
Nope, that's right. This has been a relatively penalty-free game. Randy Crowder, 71, is in there. 4-3 defense for Tampa Bay. 2nd and 9 at the 40. Whitehurst with a deep drop, and he flips it cross-field, complete. Kaufman, the tight end again. Another first down for Green Bay at the 22. Kaufman again on a big play. He's made 2 big catches here.
You know, again, many of the successful Packer passing plays have been as a result of scrambles. We see Whitehurst scrambling here, but the Green Bay Packer receivers do an excellent job of scrambling the same time Whitehurst is scrambling and getting open, as Kaufman did on that last play.
Kaufman gets a breather, and John Thompson, the rookie tight end from Utah State, number 83, replaces him. 11 first downs for Green Bay following that 14-yard pickup. Landers for a couple. scores around the National Football League. And a game that a lot of people on our audience are watching. Chicago leading Minnesota 7-3. Both teams 3-4. And along with the Pack, tied for second place in the Central Division coming into this game.
And of course we have our game right there. Tampa Bay 14, Green Bay nothing, but Green Bay has something going now, and they're putting another drive together, and they hope that they get something out of it.
If we could take you through the plant to show you what is new and let you see what's going on and watch the things we do. If you could see the cars and trucks we're working on for you, you'd say incredible. Ford, that's incredible.
Introducing the Incredible Ford Factory Tour. Come and see the incredible things we're doing to produce a new generation of more fuel-efficient cars and trucks.
If you could see tomorrow the way it looks to us today, you'd say incredible. Ford, that's incredible.
To take the Incredible Ford Factory Tour, write us for information.
Wally Chambers taken off the field, shaken up, and Bill Collar, number 77, replaces him, and Randy Crowder, 71, moves into nose tackle. They're playing 3-4 right now, 2nd and 8 at the 24-yard line for the Packers. They're trailing 14-0. Under Thompson, 89 in motion. Whitehurst drills it. Dropped by Lofton. He had it and dropped it. Hit him right at the numbers at the 15-yard line.
I tell you, the Green Bay Packer line has been doing a pretty good job of pass protection, which they did on that play. And that was as fine a throw as Dave Whitehurst could throw in that thing. He zipped it right between 3 defenders, again, right into the numbers.
New Orleans could be a threat in the Western Division. The Cardinals lead Dallas 6-3 after Dallas got on the board first. 3 wide receivers again for the Packers, 2 of them to the left side, 5 defensive backs. Curtis Jordan, 25, is in, 3rd and 8 at the 24. Whitehurst going for Lofton, and it's knocked away by Jarris White. Fine defensive play by the cornerback Jarris White, and it'll be 4th down.
That was a fine play by Jarris White. As we're going to look at the play again, he was really in single coverage, and he was off relatively deep. But he was waiting for Lofton down there to make the cut, as we're going to see at the end here. You see, as Lofton drives back, he drives back also.
Pressure on Whitehurst here. He hasn't had too much of it today.
No, he hasn't, and the little pressure that he's gotten, he's been able to get away from.
45-yard attempt coming up for Mark Cole, who missed one from 33 yards. And this kick is good. It just made it over the crossbar. Just made it, but it counts as 3 points nonetheless, and that should do a world of good for Chester Marcole's confidence. A 42-yard field goal, his longest of the year, and he's now 4 for 9 on the year. So the Packers are on the board finally. With 2 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter, it is 14-3. Next Sunday on CBS, Dallas and Pittsburgh, a replay of the Super Bowl, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will go to Minnesota in another important NFC Central Division clash. An NFL doubleheader next week on CBS. Our audience very interested in the Green Bay-Miami game at the Orange Bowl. And so far today, the Dolphins are leading New England. So Green Bay at Miami, Tampa Bay at Minnesota, the big games. Check your local listings for the time in your area. Now, some areas will not get 2 games because of the NFL blackout rule, and it'll all be preceded with the NFL Today a half hour before the game in your area. 37 yards on 6 plays, capped with Mark Cole's 42-yard field goal. So it's 14-3 now, and Chester will kick it off.
I think, you know, we talked about momentum earlier and moving up and down the field, but the important thing is getting a score when you have the momentum. And I think that was going to do very well for Chester Markle, as we see here. But I think it's a lift for the whole Green Bay Packer team. 14 points, 14-3 isn't enough for Tampa at this point.
Ragsdale at the 1. He's got excellent speed, and he's brought down by Steve Wagner. Ragsdale has superb speed. They say Higgins and Ragsdale are the fastest on this Tampa Bay club. A 22-yard return by George. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Bucs at the 25. Thus far in the second half, Green Bay's defense has been superlative, John.
They have, because they're starting to get some penetration now. Early in the first half, or in the entire first half, really Tampa Bay had the line of scrimmage. There weren't any Green Bay Packer people in the backfield, but they're starting to get penetration this half.
Eckwood is in a wing back. Morris Owens in motion. And the pitch to Ricky Bell. Eckwood blocking for Ricky Bell, but coming up strong is Wingo, number 50, and he had help as well from Terry Jones, number 63.
Again, I'm really impressed with that Rich Wingo. He seems to make just about all the tackles from sideline to sideline as we see him move here. You know, he lines up deeper than most middle linebackers. He's back off the ball, and I think that gives him a better look at things. He's only a rookie player. You get back a little deeper, he sees, and then when he sees something, he goes and attacks it.
Jim Gano, number 51, comes in as a 4th linebacker as Charles Johnson goes out. 2nd and 7. Davis, the fullback, is in there, and Eckwood carries for a couple of yards. And Wingo again makes the tackle. There's no question that Rich Wingo has made by far the most tackles on this Green Bay team today.
You know, I've always believed that linebackers have to have instinct, and I don't think that's something you teach. I think that's something that they just have. Some players just have an instinct or a nose for a ball or the feeling where it is, and those are the players that have to play linebacker.
Tony Davis, number 27, is in the game. And Larry Mucker, number 87, at wide receiver. He's got good hands. 3rd and 4. And they go to Giles, who can't hold it, but a penalty marker is down. The pass was intended for Jimmy Giles, who actually played for a while professional baseball in the Los Angeles Dodgers organization.
I think we're going to see that that pass was probably against Giles. It looked like he got downfield and pushed off on a linebacker there. As we look, we'll see if we can see it down here, but that was offensive pass interference. Now the receiver, you see, we just saw the end of it where he looked like he may have pushed just before that happened. The offensive player, of course, can't offend either.
So it's 4th down, and Odom is at the 30-yard line, and Blanchard will kick again. They have 10 men at the line, the Packers do. And Gano moved. It is a high kick, penalty mark, and Gano was offsides. So that'll be called back.
Those are the kind of penalties that kill you. Instead of having the ball, now Tampa is going to have the ball. Tampa Bay gets the ball back again.
It was a 4th and 4, and it gives them a 1st down.
Now, I really felt that Green Bay was in pretty good position now because Tampa Bay only has 14 points, and I don't think that's enough yet. I think they're going to have to get some more. They're going to have to get some things going themselves, and they were going to be in good shape, and now they get an automatic or a free 1st down. And I'm sure...
Defensive, left end, offside.
It was Gano, number 51, who was at the left end, and he is a very aggressive player, but right now he knows he's made a critical mistake. So instead of the Packers having the ball with 59 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, Tampa Bay maintains possession. 1st and 10 at the 36. Bell 42, Eckwood 43 are the setbacks. And the pitch goes to Ricky Bell. Doesn't get much, and Estes Hood drives him out of bounds. Tonight, 60 Minutes on CBS, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. California about to crack down on a doctor that the state says is involved in what could be the biggest case of medical fraud ever, but the doctor is still practicing. How come? Find out tonight on 60 Minutes.
The St. Louis Cardinals 10 and the Dallas Cowboys 6.
2nd and 6 at the 40-yard line. The clock stopped, 54 seconds to go. Morris Owens 85 to the bottom. Pitch goes to Jerry Eckwood, short of a first down by about 1.5 yards. And Mike Butler, number 77, teams up with Rich Wingo to make the stop. There's Mike Butler, who along with Ezra Johnson were the #1 draft choices in '77 for the Packers. He's been bothered with an elbow injury. Johnson did not dress because of an ankle injury. Last year, Ezra and Butler combined for 32 sacks. This year, 2 sacks.
That's right, and they miss Ezra. I think that one helps the other.
They haven't gotten that pass rush. 3rd and 2 at the 44. Morris Owens in motion. Bell will not make it. And Johnny Gray, the free safety, forced the action. So it'll be 4th down. Nonetheless, Bell so far has 114 yards rushing today, and that's a career high for him. Well, the clock has run down. That is the end of the 3rd quarter with the score 14-3 Tampa Bay. We now pause for word from your local station.
Meet Dr. Charlie Nichols, the world's greatest operator. But when he meets the girl of his dreams, she wants him to stop making house calls. The CBS Wednesday movie at 9, Eat Central and Mountain.
This is CBS.
Sunday, the tax lady's after Archie while Murray's after the tax lady. And it's Julie's wedding on one day at a time. But everyone's in for a big surprise. Next on Alice.
I love you.
Then it's a wild Halloween party for the Jeffersons when Louise witnesses...
Tom Blanchard with a good rush is punting to Odom, who forces and comes up at the 30-yard line. Odom to the 40, and Odom is brought down at the 46-yard line, and a tackle made by Billy Césaire, number 44. Scores around the league in the NFL. Washington 14-0 over Philadelphia. Big battle between Dallas, Washington, and Philly in the East. Cincinnati over Cleveland 14-7. The Browns have lost 3 in a row. Miami now trailing New England 14-13. Sam Cunningham has scored in the 3rd period on a 1-yard touchdown run. Right here it's 14-3 Tampa Bay. The Packers have good field position following the 29-yard punt. Out of the I formation for Green Bay. David Whitehurst goes to Nate Simpson, and Simpson gets to midfield. So he gets about 3.5 yards on the play. Tackle made by Richard Wood, number 54, who has led Tampa Bay in tackles for 3 years. He's a former New York Jet.
Looks like Dave Whitehurst was talking to his offensive line there about some blocking assignment. I like to see that. I like to see the quarterbacks being totally involved in the game. Get involved with those offensive linemen.
Gain of 3, 2nd and 7, midfield. Whitehurst flips it out once again to Simpson. He'll lose a yard. Knopfziger, number 51, a free agent pickup, is playing in place of Cecil Johnson as we look at the quarterback, David Whitehurst.
This is a broken play. See, it's supposed to be to the right. He's waiting to pitch to the right. The backs go to the left, so he makes an option out of it. He held the ball nice. He didn't want to get hit like that.
He's recovered nicely on 2 broken plays today, John.
Well, we have an injured player on the field, and he sure has recovered. I mean, not only on that run, but also on the passes. He's done a nice job of recovering, scrambling, and finding something and getting it going.
Andre Thompson, number 89, shaken up as he gets up. Now, how would you grade the quarterback so far in this game in a capsule summary?
I like them both. I think that they've both done a fine job. I feel that Tampa Bay in this second half has to get something going, because I don't think 14 points is enough to hold up. I think they've gotten a little conservative. I think they have to start opening it up and throwing the ball a little more. And I like the way David Whitehurst has done it this second half. He's 15 for 21.
2 wide receivers in there. 3rd and 7. 5 defensive backs for Tampa Bay. 3-3-5. The pass is complete to the tight end Kaufman at the 35, and he has made 3 important receptions for the Packers this afternoon that we remember.
That's right, and David Whitehurst will look for Kaufman on those situations. They go 5 defensive backs. They're really concentrating on the outside receivers, and Kaufman is able to work in the middle on the in route as he ran at that time, or the hook in the middle.
Right now, Kaufman is the leading receiver on the season for the Packers as Whitehurst looks at a 1st and 10 at the Tampa Bay 35. Play action. Whitehurst. The pass incomplete. Andre Thompson, who was shaken up before but recovered, couldn't make that low grab.
I'll tell you, he ran a fine pattern, though. You know, the thing that you have to do on this is you have to make that defender think he's going deep. You see how he did that, and he made him turn and run for the deep end, and then he cut back to the sideline. That was a great pattern.
Bounced out of his hands, Andre Thompson. He hadn't been running those great patterns so far this season, but today he's been running them better, and that one was an example.
Well, he's had some injuries, and that was as fine a pattern as I've seen run today.
2nd and 10, 35-yard line. Whitehurst. And that pass overthrown to Nate Simpson, and might have been intercepted because Tampa Bay had 3 defenders in the area.
You know, it looks like David Whitehurst is having a little problem with his backs. I know that they've had a number of injuries, and they have Simpson and Landers playing today, and it seems like they've had quite a few mix-ups of backs going the wrong way on runs, and that pattern looked like that could have in fact been a mix-up.
What causes these problems, mix-ups, broken plays?
Not playing together, inexperience, not really getting into the flow of things together.
3 wide receivers as Tullis, 87, comes in. 3rd and 10 at the 35. Packers in the opening moments trailing 14-3 of this 4th quarter. Pass might be complete to Tullis, and they said that he was forced out of bounds. It is a completed pass and a 1st down for Green Bay. Apparently, he was up, caught the ball, and driven out of bounds, and they rule it, according to what we see, as a completed pass. Walter Tullis.
They're marking it down there, and we're going to get another shot of that. But again, this was another comeback pass. Now you see, if the receiver is in the air and he is knocked out by the impetus of the defender out of bounds, then that's a good play, and that's the way they did it. He was up in the air. He was up in the air inbounds. He was hit and knocked out of bounds, so that's a legal completion.
And a good call. Mike Washington drove him out, but you're right, he was in the field of play and driven out. 14-yard pickup, a big 1st down for the Packers at the 21-yard line. The crowd booing. They may not understand the rule. They don't like it. Walt Landers gets nowhere, and Dewey Soman, number 58, comes up and makes the play. Selman, formerly a down lineman, moved to linebacker, and a very intelligent left inside linebacker for John McKay. Well, at the other end of that youngster with the earphones and the binoculars is his mom, who's watching the game right now. 2nd and 10 at the 21.
What do you think? You got any good plays? Uh-huh.
Crowd still reacting to that call, and a good one by the officials. 2nd and 10 at the 21. Packers right now are in field goal range, and we have a whistle. Delay of the game, apparently. We have a delay of the game call against the Packers. They didn't get the play off in the 30 seconds allotted.
That's another penalty that you hate to see. You know, you have 30 seconds and...
Offense, delay. 2nd down.
So instead of 2nd and 10, it's 2nd and 15. That makes a whale of a difference.
Well, and that'll happen sometimes when the plays are being called from the sideline. Sometimes when you're changing from 2 running backs to 3 wide receivers and these situation substitutions.
11:37 remaining in the game as Tampa Bay counters with a fifth defensive back. Curtis Jordan, 25, and Dana Nafziger, 51, is out. 2nd and 15. And we have another mix-up. Number 68, Greg Cook, the right tackle, moved, and it looks like the Green Bay Packers today, for the most part, have not been in sync, John.
No, they want to get in there so bad, and I don't think it's...
Number 78, 2nd down.
I don't think it's from not wanting to do it. I think it's from wanting too much. They get down there and they get so excited. They move. They want to get a jump on that pass protection. Those tackles have a tough job. They're out there one-on-one on those defensive ends that are going to rush up the field and inside and outside, and sometimes they want to get an early start on it. As we see, Chicago 14, Minnesota 3 in the second period.
And Tampa Bay travels to Bloomington to face the Vikings next week. Penalty was on Cook, 68, and not 78, as you heard. 2nd and 20 at the 30-yard line. Whitehurst hemmed in. He dumps it off to Kaufman, the tight end, who's down at the 25-yard line. Tackle made by David Lewis, who hung with him nicely. So it'll be 3rd down and still long yardage. But the Packers, if nothing else, want to give Marcol another chance to put more points up there. Because you said you don't think the 14's enough for Tampa Bay.
I don't think the 14's enough, and those 3s add up, and pretty soon they become 9s and 12s, and you get a 7, and and you're up there to 20 points. And I don't think the 14 points will hold up.
Green Bay heavily penalized, as you saw there this afternoon. 3rd and 15 at the 25. Tullis, 87. Thompson, 89, wide to the left. And Lofton, number 80, to the right. Dumps it out to Landers. That's not the way to move the ball downfield. I have a hunch you would say that, John Madden.
Well, that's right. It's the 3rd time they've done that, though. They've gotten in that 3 wide receiver, spread them out over the field, and then they threw the screen pass. I think once is fine, maybe twice, but when you go 3 times, that's dipping in the well maybe one too many times. And you'd think that they'd like to get the ball downfield, maybe get it in the end zone, and get a 7 points.
This will be a 46-yard attempt for Chester Marcol. 46-yard attempt. He hit on 42 yards earlier. David Beverly is holding. The last one just made it. This one doesn't make it, off to the right. It wasn't even close. And so the Packers, who were driving, and they had that 5-yard penalty for delay of the game, and then the screen pass didn't work. So Tampa Bay takes over with 9:58 to go in the game and the lead.
It does my heart good to see a woman of your depth and reception going natural in public.
It does my heart good to see they even let you out in public.
That's nice of you to say, but tell me, why do you like natural?
Oh, this light beer and I have a lot in common. Classy package, terrific taste.
Yeah, natural aging. I mean, natural has the smooth, clean taste that comes from slow natural aging.
Keep trying.
Really, I have extinct affliction for all women of your gender. I raise you to the highest pinnacle.
Can a 1980 Ford LTD priced about $7,300 ride as quietly as a $65,000 Rolls-Royce? Both were tested under identical conditions, over smooth roads, over rough roads, at 20, 40, and 55 miles per hour. And the LTD rode just as quietly as the Rolls-Royce. Incredible? Not for LTD, because LTD is so solidly built, so well engineered. Ford LTD, as quiet as a Rolls-Royce.
Whitehurst and Zeke on the sideline, John.
I think Whitehurst has really done a fine job, and I think he and Zeke are talking about what they want to do next time. Once something's over, it's too late to talk about.
1st and 10 at the 28-yard line for Tampa Bay. Second back through is Ricky Bell, number 42, who has gained 113 yards. Before that play, Robert Barber, number 70, makes the stop.
Ricky Bell, 21 rushes for 113 yards, and I'm sure his running back coach, George Chomp, who's not here today, will be very happy with Ricky's performance. George had a gallbladder operation. He's out. He's watching the game on television. We all send him our best.
2nd and 5 at the 33. Doug Williams had a fine afternoon in his own right. Engineered 2 scoring drives. Bell again changes direction nicely and goes outside and is out of bounds short of midfield. Mike McCoy drove him there, but that's why you get a talent like that, a brilliant running back from USC who has the ability, like O.J. did, to make that kind of a move.
He sure did. You know, some of the times he would start up, cut back to the other side. This time he started up and bounced out to the wide side. We'll see him here. Watch John McKay. John, you got to take him on with your left shoulder. See, John just stands there and takes a little, oops, there he goes. I can't take too many of those hits.
11-yard pickup, 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Tampa Bay used up almost 8 minutes in a first half drive. Morris Owens in motion. First back through, Johnny Davis, and he is stopped head up. Charles Johnson and Mike Douglas were there. Davis, second year out of Alabama, and as John said earlier, has a bright future with this club, and you'll probably see him more and more, although it's been an Eckwood Bell season running up to this point.
That's right, and someday it's going to be a Davis. I had said he was a rookie earlier. He was a rookie the last time I worked in a draft, and that was 2 years ago.
They look good in Florida. 2nd and 10 at the 44. 8:35 remaining. There he is again, Ricky Bell, wending his way for a first down. Let's see where they spot it. He apparently has it. Jim Gano, linebacker, makes the stop. We have seen a lot of 3-4 for Green Bay, and Ricky Bell has really worked hard today.
I'll tell you, Ricky Bell has worked hard and run well, but watch Davis out in front on this lead block. He's really the man that made that play go, because he drove into the linebacker and took him back about 4 or 5 yards. It made that possible for Ricky Bell.
They're going to measure right now, and I'll tell you one thing. When you have a talent like Ricky Bell, you've got to have a good blocker, and that's, I think, what you're talking about when you mention Davis's future.
That's right, and Davis has done that in this game, and Eckwood has also done it today.
They're short by less than a yard. Ricky Bell, by the way, now has broken the single-season rushing record of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 138 yards. The old record was by Jerry Eckwood, opening game against Detroit when he ran for 121. So a big day for Ricky Bell. 2nd and 1 at the 46. In motion goes Bell. Carrying is Williams. He has enough. First down. Williams carried for the second Tampa Bay touchdown in the second quarter, and he hit Bell, who was all alone on a 9-yard scoring strike in the first quarter. It was 14-0 at the half. Mark Cole, after missing a field goal from 33 in the first half, gave Green Bay their only points with a 42-yard field goal.
And when's the last time Tampa Bay's thrown a pass?
1976. I don't know.
No,
that's a good point.
I don't remember. It seems like this whole half has been running.
They haven't thrown many passes even in the first half today. 1st and 10, 45. Bell, and he almost came close to breaking one. Fumble. And the Packers recover. Ricky Bell fumbles. He was hit by Johnson and Wingo, and now Williams and Johnson on the field. I think they're going at each other pretty strong out there after the whistle blows.
They're coming. We're going to see that again. Again, it was a cutback type thing where Bell was going to go to the right side, and he cut back to the left. And just as he was going down, he was stripped. The ball was stripped out of his hand.
Wingo hit him, and Johnson stripped it away. And Green Bay has the ball with 7:06 remaining in the ball game.
If a man's favorite threads prematurely lose their threads, and the seams in his slacks seem to disappear, then he needs clothes from Levi's Sportswear. Levi's slacks, blazers, and suits hold their great looks because they're sewn to the tough standards that made the Levi's name famous for durability. Men's clothes from Levi's Sportswear, where quality never goes out of style.
The AC Spark Plug, buy 7, get 1 free sales on right now. Participating outlets where you see this poster. Thanks, AC.
Americans are learning that if their car's plugs are misfiring, a tune-up with new AC spark plugs can help improve gas mileage. Thanks, AC.
Now's the time to tune up because AC Delco is making it possible for you to get 8 AC spark plugs for the price of 7.
Thanks, AC.
Tune up with AC. Buy 7. Get one free.
Thanks, AC.
Next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular, see the light heavyweights. Plus, the battle of the super heavyweights, the world's strongest men competition. You'll say you saw it on CBS Sports.
James Scott at Rahway State Prison in a light heavyweight bout, and the world's strongest men concludes with the very popular tug of war. Don't miss it next week. Cincinnati leading Cleveland 20-7 in the third quarter, and the Browns have slumped. The Jets over Oakland 14-13. That's been a seesaw game in the second quarter. Minnesota narrows the gap. The Bears lead it 14-10, and New Orleans, they could be a threat, leading Detroit 10-0. First and 10 at the 42-yard line. David Whitehurst, Packers still in the game. His pass is complete to Kaufman, and he has a first down. Kaufman caught the ball, was dragged back, but his forward progress is enough for a Packer first down.
I've really been impressed with Kaufman. You know, he not only works to get open as he's doing here, but once he gets open, he goes for the ball, and then he doesn't want to go down. You know, he's just going and twisting and turning, and I don't know if they ever did get him down. His old man's restraining him. That's exciting, though.
That's great. I'll tell you, Kaufman has really been the top offensive performer for the Packers today. First and 10 at the 46. 6:20 to go in the game. 14-3 Tampa Bay. Simpson changes direction. Fumbles. Tampa Bay recovers. He was hit by Lewis, lost the ball, and the fumble was recovered by Nafziger, and so the Pack coughs it up.
I think that Tampa Bay needed that. They had just given up a turnover, and they had to get it back, and they got it back on a turnover. You see here, sometimes on a play like this, the back is better just to take the ball and just run it up if you have a loss and you get a yard or two, and then play second down, tee it up again. He tried to reverse his field and fumble the ball.
So the Buccaneers have it at the 47-yard line. In their own territory, first and 10, leading 14-3. 3 big turnovers that the Buccaneers have capitalized on. Johnny Davis takes a couple to bring him down, doesn't it? He's still up. And finally, Johnny Gray brings him out of bounds. But great effort by Johnny Davis.
It was a great effort, and I think we have a penalty on that. It looks like it's going to be holding against the Bucs, and that's going to put everything back, I'm sure.
Because they started in good field position, so
right.
That'll send them back.
That's one of the first holding penalties I think we've had today.
We have had a clip on Green Bay, but we haven't had many major penalties. Let's pick it up.
Offense, number 75, holding.
Dave Revis,
first down.
former Pittsburgh Steeler, the left tackle, was holding. So it's first and 20 now at the 37. George Ragsdale, number 23, replaces Ricky Bell, and now 4 linebackers in there for the Packers. And the pitch goes to Ragsdale. He's got good speed if he can get away. He's tackled at the 40 by Jim Gano. Clock continues to run. 5:45 to go in the game. Tampa Bay trying to break their 2-game losing streak and maintain a 2-game lead in the Central Division of the NFC. Ricky Bell back in the lineup.
I think Tampa Bay they have great running backs who can do some things on their own, and maybe they don't need the pass as much.
Audible apparently being called at the line by Williams. 2nd and 17. Ricky Bell up the middle. First down to the 46, and it was Johnny Gray who brings him down.
They have 2nd and 17 there. You would think that's a passing situation, but when you have running backs like Ricky Bell here, that's time to do it. I guess you can go all the way.
They'll be short by a couple, John.
Yeah, they're going to be short by 2 yards and have a 3rd and 2, but again, you get that long yardage situation, and most teams are going to pass the ball. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers give it to Ricky Bell. He's rushed 25 times for 154 yards. That's not bad.
He'll take it. He'll take it every week.
It's about 3 games worth for most of them.
14-yard pickup on that play, so it's 3rd and a long 2. Davis tried to go wide, couldn't get anywhere. So the Packers, with Mike Douglas pursuing and forcing the play, hold right here, and it's 4th down.
I think he stretched that one out a little more than you really want to on short yardage. On a short yardage play, you like to get it turned upfield, get your shoulder square as soon as you can, and not spend too much time going laterally.
Odom is at the 10-yard line, and Blanchard will kick from his 40. Under 4 minutes remaining in the game.
Corner kick, Bob.
Come the Packers. Blanchard gets the kick away. It's outstanding kick out of the end zone. So Green Bay will take over on the 20-yard line. So they have 3:36 now, and they're trailing 14-3. Well, our director in this game is John McDonough. He has a lovely wife, Muffy, and she gave birth to John III. Mother and son are doing very well in New Jersey.
Spread your wings. Introducing the new 1980 Thunderbird, a Thunderbird of new contemporary size that shows its elegant heritage wherever you look. And with its new size and a new 4.2-liter engine, this Thunderbird has excellent estimated gas mileage and also offers the first automatic overdrive option built in America, a new engineering breakthrough. The new size Thunderbird, a better idea for the 80s.
How great is JCPenney's MCS 35-watt system stereo sale? Just look at the figures. An amplifier that delivers 35 watts of power, only $200. An extremely sensitive AM/FM tuner, just $160. 2 acoustically balanced 3-way speakers, only $280. The total, an unbelievable $399. That's right, $640 worth of components, only $399 when you buy the 35-watt package at JCPenney. It figures.
California's about to crack down on a doctor that the state says is involved in what could be the biggest case of medical fraud ever, but the doctor is still practicing. How come? Watch 60 Minutes tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Score is 14-3 Tampa Bay, and you're looking now at nose tackle Bill Kohler. You remember him from a Cincinnati game, don't you, John?
I sure do. He's an amazing player. One day we were getting ready for Mike Reed. We were worried about Mike Reed at Cincinnati, and Kohler just killed us that day.
And now he's killing other people. Intercepted by David Lewis, number 57. Reached up and intercepted the Whitehurst pass. 3rd time today, Tampa Bay has picked off a toss by Whitehurst. And for David Lewis, it is his first interception of the year.
We're going to see that, and of course we talked earlier about the turnovers. You know, when you get some opportunities, you have to take advantage of them, and that really wasn't a very well thrown ball.
It was intended for Kaufman, the tight end.
And Lewis made a fine play getting back there. He was in the zone. He has great range, and he's a fine athlete from University of Southern California.
14-3. Clock with 3:26 remaining in the game. 1st and 10 at the 21. Ricky Bell going outside. He has a blocker in front of him in Greg Roberts. And Ricky Bell is out of bounds. Greg Roberts, number 61, was the Outland Trophy winner as the outstanding lineman from Oklahoma. That was the deal that sent Dave Pear to your Oakland Raiders. He was the nose tackle. They got a number 2 draft choice, which was Roberts, and number 3, which turned out to be Rick Burns, a running back. And they were able to switch Hanna, and they've changed the whole story on the Tampa Bay team.
I think that was one of the trades that really helped both teams. Dave Pear has helped the Oakland Raiders, and I think the trade has helped Tampa Bay. It's been a good trade.
2 tight ends, Jim Obradovich and Jimmy Giles here at 2nd and 3 at the 14. Davis. inside the 10. The bruiser from Alabama was tackled by Wingo and Douglas, 2 linebackers.
I think we had talked earlier, and we see here the turnovers in this game, 4-1. The Packers have had 1 fumble, 3 interceptions. The Bucs have only had 1, and I think that's really a big difference in this game.
1st and goal at the 8, and John, we go back to the top of our show when you talked about the turnovers. This time it was the other way around. Green Bay committed them. Tampa Bay had committed them in the last couple of games. 1st and goal at the 8. The Buccaneers can wrap it up and seal it and put a ribbon on it here. Look at that cut inside by Bell. Penalty marker is down, however, inside the 5-yard line. Earl Edwards makes the tackle, and Ricky Bell, we have a holding penalty against Tampa Bay, will nullify it, but I tell you, he is looking like a vintage O.J. Simpson at times today.
Well, he looks like a vintage Ricky Bell. You know, when he was at USC, he was a great running back. As we listen to the referee, Fred Silva here is going to tell us something in a minute. I'm sure it was a holding penalty.
Offense, number 73, holding. 1st down.
Charlie Hanna now playing up front at right tackle. He was a defensive lineman before, and so he's playing the same position his brother John plays, at least the offensive line at New England.
His brother John's a left guard, and he's one of the most impressive offensive linemen I've ever seen in my life. I remember when we scouted him at the Hula Bowl, I thought he was the best player in the game.
Previous spot foul.
So the ball is at the 18, 1st and goal at the 18. Obradovich is out, so Giles is the lone tight end for Tampa Bay, leading 14-3 with 2:29 remaining. And on a reverse, Mucker, wide receiver Larry Mucker, short of the end zone, driven out by Gary Weaver. So it was Ricky Bell who handed off to Mucker coming around. And Tampa Bay is within a couple of yards of another touchdown.
That's something that's been set up all day. They've been running from the I formation and flipping the ball right and left to Ricky Bell, and he's been running on those sweeps on this play. They just flip the ball to Bell. He starts out, and he hands to Larry Mucker on a reverse, and it was a great play. It was greatly timed, and it was a fine call in this situation by Coach John McKay.
Boy, Mucker made a great catch against the Giants earlier this year, a couple of weeks ago. 2nd and goal at the 2. Davis won't make it. He has Mike Douglas and Johnny Gray surrounding him, so it's 3rd down. Davis, one of the leading ground gainers last year in his rookie season for the Bucs.
This is a situation that I always like to play pass or some quarterback option type play. Tampa Bay is taking time out, and Doug Williams is coming over to the sideline to talk to Coach John McKay about what to call in this important 3rd down play.
I never worry about what brand name part my mechanic puts on my car. That doesn't make me a bad guy. I go to a professional mechanic I can trust, so I trust the parts he uses. He uses Mopar. It means nothing to me, but it means a lot to him. Mopar fits all American-made cars, foreign cars too, and they're used by professional mechanics all over the world. If the professional trusts Mopar, I trust Mopar. Does he make me happy? He makes it his business.
Trust your car to Mopar.
Trying.
Avis built its business on one simple thing: trying harder.
Keep on trying, America. The effort is really everything. We keep on trying, America. At Avis, we don't give up. Trying.
By trying harder, we changed an entire industry. We're not about to give it up now.
Deborah Raffin is the girl that knows who murdered a plane load of people, but no one will believe her, and the killer is coming for her. Mind Over Murder, Tuesday at 9.
The 2-minute warning is history. It is now 3rd and 2 for Tampa Bay. Trying to wrap it up. They lead 14-3. Pretty safe in this game. but they're trying to add more points on the board. Play action, Williams flips it. Touchdown to Jimmy Giles. And Tampa Bay has scored their 3rd touchdown, and that is Giles' 5th touchdown reception of the season.
That's what I always like, is that type of play down here where they're expecting run. They're all tightened in there, and you fake to the back inside, holds the inside linebackers, and then Williams rolls out to the right. Then he has the option to either throw to Giles in the corner of the end zone or run it in himself. I think that's the best play that there is on the goal line. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just ran it to perfection.
O'Donohue will try the point after, and despite the fact that 2 of the 3 Tampa Bay touchdowns have been by virtue of the pass, it has been the running game that's told the story. The point is good. 218 yards rushing. Ricky Bell has about 156 of those in the turnovers. Green Bay coughing it up through interception and fumble to Tampa Bay, the story of the game.
That is, and we're going to see this touchdown play from another angle here. We'll see again the fake. He fakes the trap in there to Eckwood. Now he runs out here in the option, and of course he had the option to run or pass. There was no reason to run because there was no one covering Giles. He's happy. Pretty good slam, not bad. Good follow through. Looks like those pitchers in the World Series as they followed through. I wonder what the velocity was on his ball.
Well, they didn't have the gun out for him today. They have that gun that Earl Weaver likes so much.
97 miles an hour he threw that one down.
So 13 touchdown passes for Williams on the season, and Giles has caught 5 of them. Don't forget, next Saturday, 4:30 Eastern Time, live from Aqueduct Racetrack, the Turf Classic, a CBS Sports special. Neil O'Donohue will kick off, and Steve Odom is back inside his 5. 21 yards, 6 plays, and it was the interception by Lewis that started it all for Tampa Bay. Here is Odom, tripped up to the 31-yard line. So Green Bay trailing 21-3, has it 1st and 10. Danny Reese was the man that stopped Odom. The Packers next week go from the frying pan to the fire. They have to face the Miami Dolphins at the Orange Bowl, and Tampa Bay will now be 6-2 on the year and will have a 2-game lead over either Chicago or Minnesota. Will go against the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota. 5 defensive backs for Tampa Bay. 3 wide receivers for Green Bay. Whitehurst. Pass is complete. Walter Tullis to the 43, 44-yard line.
Green Bay's line are going without a huddle now. They're going to be in the same formation that they ran last time, and we see David Whitehurst audibilizing at the line.
Whitehurst completes this to Andre Thompson, who has a 1st down at the 44. Clock moving. The Packers have all of their timeouts remaining, and they line up because they need a few scores here. They can't use any of those timeouts yet.
They need more than one. What they have to do is get one quick one and then go for an onside kick and try and get the ball back and get another one.
This pass almost picked off by Curtis Jordan, and if he had grabbed it, he could have walked in. Intended for Andre Thompson. Clock stops, 52 seconds to go.
I think we're going to see that. You see that one again, and again it was the same type of pattern. It was just a sideline. And the one thing that impresses me about David Whitehurst, of course, he came close to throwing an interception here, but he really stays in that pocket. He doesn't get panicky. He doesn't get fidgety. He stands in there and waits for something to happen with his wide receivers. He waits for him to get open.
You see the time remaining in the game. The Packers need 3 scores. Hit from behind. Selman gets him, and that is an incompleted pass, I believe. And an injured player. Is that Greg Cook? Number 68, Cook, got hurt.
We're going to see what happens to him here as he starts to cross over. It looks like he gets thrown down on that play. And again, Tampa Bay has the ball now, and of course they don't. I'm sorry, Green Bay still has the ball. But they need 3 scores in 47 seconds.
That's not that easy to do, is it, John?
No.
3rd and 10, up the middle. Kaufman, the intended receiver, incomplete, hit hard by linebacker Richard Wood. So it's 4th and 10. Packers will line up and attempt another play. They can smile in Tampa Bay. They weren't smiling last week, but today's a different story as the Buccaneers have beaten the Green Bay Packers. So it's always good to break that losing streak. You never had too many of those, did you? But it's nice to do it.
They should be proud of this team. This team is 6-2, leading their division. They've done a great job, and they've come a long way. They're very impressive.
4th and 10. Whitehurst incomplete, going for Kaufman, so they'll turn the ball over to Tampa Bay. And the big point that you mentioned at the start, where the real Tampa Bay Buccaneers stand up. The 5-0 are the team that lost 2. You don't know if it's the unbeaten club. You don't know if they're that good, but we know one thing, that this club is a definite division contender for the playoffs, which is a great story.
They sure are, and today they played like the 5-0 team that started the season. I think that's what John McKay, that's what the team wanted, that's what the owner, Hugh Culverhouse, they all wanted to get back to that.
We're going to see a new quarterback, Chuck Fusina from Penn State, who hasn't played much and hasn't attempted a pass, hasn't played at all this year, is taking over with 36 seconds to go in the game. Chuck Fusina from Penn State. And the give is to Rick Burns, number 36. One of those players acquired in the draft in that Dave Pear deal. So you're looking at Fusina from Penn State, who led them to that great year. They almost won the national championship last year. Alabama beat them in the Sugar Bowl.
They sure did, and he's not going to get much experience in this situation. I think they can put out the fire and call in the dogs. The hunt's over.
Clock running down. We will not have another play. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as John McKay trots onto the field, have swept both games from the Green Bay Packers this year, winning up in Green Bay 21-10. And as Bart Starr goes across to his sideline and to his clubhouse, 21-3 the final score. We will be back at Tampa Stadium in just a moment.
Weekends were made for Michelob. Weekends were made for special friends. It's the time to have that smooth and mellow beer. It's Michelob.
Every weekend is really a little vacation at the end of the week. And doesn't that call for Michelob?
Weekends were made for Michelob.
Yeah.
The car, the 1980 Mustang. The place, Ford's Test Track, Dearborn. Mustang proves itself a sports car for the 80s. The U.S. Auto Club tested Mustang for acceleration, for cornering, for steering response, for braking, for overall driving performance. The result, Mustang is certified by the U.S. Auto Club as a sports car. Sports car performance, impressive fuel economy. That's Ford Mustang, a sports car for the 80s.
So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have beaten the Green Bay Packers 21-3. Green Bay is now 3-5 on the year. And Tampa Bay at 6-2 know that they will have a 2-game lead over either Chicago or Minnesota. Depending on who wins that game, we'll get a score for you if we can. And of course, Tampa Bay plays Minnesota next week. Story today, I guess Ricky Bell in the rushing game of Tampa Bay, maybe number 1.
Well, you know, we talked earlier about Doug Williams and what he had to do. And I know I said one thing, if the running backs do the job, if Bell and Eckwood run well, then that'll help him in doing his job a lot. And I think that did help Doug Williams today. He was able to to hand to Bell, to hand to Eckwood, to move the ball, to control it, and they did a fine job. Conversely, I think Green Bay had the turnovers. They had some opportunities to go and to get some points, and then when they get down there, they missed a field goal. They had the interceptions, the turnovers, and I think that's what happened to them.
Well, you're right about that. Ricky Bell gained 167 yards. Whitehurst, 3 interceptions. The NFL on CBS will be back after this word from your local station.
Tonight, the tax lady is after Archie, while Murray is after the tax lady.
You and your partner ought to be in jail.
Come on down to Archie Bunker's place tonight.
This is CBS.
We are back here at Tampa Stadium, and the capacity crowd here going home in a great frame of mind. And we only touched on a little bit the Doug Williams situation of last week, and it shows you how great the game could be, John Madden, where one week the crowd may not be happy with the quarterback and vice versa. This week they had to love Williams. And the point you were making before with the running game going, Williams had only to throw 10 passes today, completed 6 of them, and so that was the kind of offense. Whitehurst threw some 30 passes, and that's what he did in the first game too against this team.
Right, and today he was forced to do it, again, by the turnovers and by the fact that when Tampa Bay ran the ball, they were very successful doing it. They were able to run on first down and second down and create that 2nd and 2, that 3rd and 1 situation. And Doug Williams didn't have to pass. There were times that were very impressive to me when they would end up after a penalty with a long yardage situation, and he would still hand the ball to Ricky Bell, and he'd go 10, 15, 20 yards at a crack.
Interesting thing, an aspect of this game are the defenses. We saw the fact that the Giants used a 3-4, New Orleans used a 3-4, something that Tampa Bay hadn't been used to, and today we saw the teams use kind of the reverse. We saw the Packers in a lot of 3-4 and the Buccaneers in 4-3, and maybe we'll see a lot more of what normally has been a pattern for one club one way or another.
I think we're going to see that. You know, I've always said that the important thing on offense and defense is mixture, and I think we're starting to see that, where the 4-man line teams are using 3-man line in situations. The 3-man line teams are using 4-man line in situations. And I think we're seeing that all over the National Football League.
But as you said, it was Doug Williams engineering it today for Tampa Bay. A certain contrast to what the performance was last week. And Ricky Bell. There's Ricky Bell down on the field. He's getting hooked on because we're going to be talking with the 2 stars of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in just a moment. Ricky Bell from USC with a glorious day, and Doug Williams, the quarterback. We'll be back in Tampa in just a moment.
I learn a lot about this hotel by walking around like a guest.
Meet Carl Hurd, manager of Ramada O'Hare Inn in Chicago. He puts a lot of emphasis on people. He even lives here in his own apartment. And because this Ramada is also Carl Hurd's home, travelers find it's a nice place for them to live, too.
Nice people taking care of nice people. Ramada, all over the world.
Hey, Corvallis, Oregon. Who introduced the radial tire?
He did.
Hey, Lexington, Kentucky. Who makes only radial tires? He does. He's the Michelin man. And at Michelin, we put you first. That's why we won't make a second-best tire. Because the only thing more important than our tires are the people who ride on them. Hey, Independence, Missouri. Who's the fastest-growing tire company in America?
Michelin.
At Michelin, we put you first.
Well, you're looking at Ricky Bell and Doug Williams, number 42 and number 12, respectively. Dick Stockton here at the booth. And a great game. First of all, Ricky Bell, you know, you set the all-time Tampa Bay rushing record, and a great afternoon. Tell me about what the plan was, Rick.
Well, what we decided on was just to run the ball at the Green Bay defense. We went down there a few weeks ago, and we had multiple type offense that worked pretty well. But today, Coach decided that we were just going to keep the ball on the ground most of the time and just try to punish them. And pretty soon, in the third and fourth quarter, they began to wear out.
You were wide open on that first touchdown pass. Tell me about that play.
Well, that's a 91 pass pattern. Doug usually looks for the out receivers on that. And usually the linebacker has one-on-one with me, and he just went down with the tight end, and I turned and waved my hand at Doug, and he threw it right in my chest. There was no way I could miss it. A perfect pass by Doug Williams.
Doug, let me ask you this question. It's great to come back after perhaps a nightmarish week last week. The fans love you today. It shows you the fickle situation of football, but you'd rather be on the right side of things, right, Doug?
Right. You learn each week, and this is one of our good weeks, and I just hope that we can keep rolling on.
Well, this was an important victory because people wanted to know which Tampa Bay club was it, the 5-0 team or the club that lost 2. So I know you feel good because you've got a tough game in Minnesota next week, and you go up there thinking, well, today we played like the 5-0.
Right. I definitely think that we played like the 5-0 team we were early in the year, and I just hope we can keep it rolling.
Doug, let me ask you this question. What kind of adjustments go into playing a team the second time from the first? You played Green Bay, beat them 21-10 the first time. You didn't throw, well, you actually threw more passes in that game. Ricky gained about 97 yards. What did you notice in the films that Ricky hasn't said that you could tell us about now that you've played him twice?
Well, one thing I know, up there in third down situation, we was pretty successful against them. And I knew today that they was going to try to take what we did away up there, for third down. But today, we just kept pounding at him on the ground. Ricky was having a great day, and the offensive line just did a super job blocking.
John Madden is in the booth, and he can hear you, and you can hear him. John, I'm sure you have some questions.
Well, first of all, I'd like to congratulate both Doug Williams and Ricky Bell for their fine performance. It was great. Ricky, it reminded me of those days as the Trojan tailback.
Yeah, well, yesterday I saw Charles White rush for 261 yards, and I decided to come out and add my little 2 cents to it today, John. I think that we're an upcoming team. I think that we can pretty soon, in the next couple of years, try to dominate this league, especially with the young players we have, and we're just really excited about it.
Well, you're sure on the right track now, and again, I'd like to congratulate you. And Doug, those were the things we talked about at the airport the other night. I was telling everyone that I saw you at the airport, and I was impressed with your presence and your physical size, and today you went out and did the job, I think, which is a great thing, being able to come back from adversity, and it really didn't seem to bother you.
Well, Coach, all my life, I grew up in a competitive family. Everybody tried to outdo each other, and I just, put in my mind today to go out and do the best job I possibly can.
Doug, I think it's great that your coach, John McKay, has stuck with you, and he knows that you're the quarterback of the future of this club, plus the present. We shouldn't forget about that. But also the people know that there have been drop passes, and not only is it always a quarterback problem, and we've seen it around the league. I've seen it in New England with Grogan, and he's been in the league 5 years. Fans sometimes want the other guy, but you have shown tremendous poise, and I know that what you said this week after you made some comments was really a credit to you, and I think you might have won these people forever, no matter what you do on a football field.
I certainly hope so, Dick. Like I told Coach McKay last year, you go along in life, and as long as you live, you learn, and that's one thing that I learned.
John, any questions?
Yeah, on that touchdown pass that you threw to Ricky Bell, were you going to go to an outside receiver on that, Doug? It looked like they were double covered.
Well, Coach, all week we worked on it, and they usually play a 2, but today, they played in and out, which we call 11 coverage, and the linebacker just turned and ran, and Ricky was wide open, waving his hand. I couldn't help but to see him.
That was great, but that takes poise, too, because quarterbacks don't always hit the open guy, and we're going to look at a shot of it right now. This isn't the same shot. This was the option play down there on the goal line. Who called that play? Anyway, I noticed you went over to the sideline in a 2-minute warning and talked about that one. That fake trap bootleg pass to Giles?
Well, Coach McKay and Coach Nelson, they got together and called it, because Rick had been having a great day. So we feel like if, we could fake the ball to Rick up the middle, everybody would be keen on him. But their defense kind of picked it up pretty good, but Jimmy was wide open in the end zone.
Yeah.
Ricky, I got a question for you. One of the great things you did today were the great changes in direction. I remarked to John, I said, it reminds me of vintage OJ, and he says, that's actually vintage Ricky Bell at USC.
Well, for the last couple of years, Dick, I've been hampered by injuries, and now I'm a third year in professional ball. I'm getting to the point where I have guys around me like Doug Williams, Jerry Eggwood, and Johnny Davis to compliment me. And I'm a lot healthier now, and that offensive line is blowing those guys off the ball, and there's nothing but wide open holes, and you have a little time to do a couple of twists and turns sometime.
Ricky Bell and Doug Williams, congratulations. I know you'll be in a great frame of mind, and you're atop the Central Division of the NFC, passed at the midway point with 6-2. Thank you very much, the stars of the game. And we'll be back at Tampa Stadium with more in just a moment.
How great is JCPenney's MCS 35-watt system stereo sale? Just look at the figures. An amplifier that delivers 35 watts of power, only $200. An extremely sensitive AM/FM tuner, just $160. 2 acoustically balanced 3-way speakers, only $280. The total, an unbelievable $399. That's right, $640 worth of components, only $399 when you buy the 35-watt package at JCPenney. It figures.
Hello, I'm Chuck Connors, and this is Tin Can Alley. An exciting new electronic target game that truly tests your marksmanship from as far away as 25 feet. But Tin Can Alley is safe because it only shoots a beam of light that's as safe as a flashlight. Well, even a rifleman sometimes misses. Tin Can Alley, for real target practice at home, from Ideal.
21-3, the band still plays here in Tampa Bay as the Buccaneers won 21-3. Let's take a look at scores around the National Football League. Final score, Washington 17, Philadelphia 7 for the Eagles, their second loss of the year. So right now, Washington and Philadelphia are 6-2. In the fourth quarter, Baltimore leading Buffalo 14-3. Baltimore has won only one game. Burt Jones started for the second time this year. And a wild scoring game, the Browns, who are trailing 20-7, leading 28-20. And the Browns trying to end that 3-game losing streak.
That's something. Cincinnati is something. They beat Pittsburgh, of course, last week, and then they started off well today. They still may be in that one.
All right, we're going to be back in Tampa with more scores from the National Football League and a look at some of the highlights of today's game in just a moment.
A surprising message to Rolaids users. Tums neutralizes 1/3 more acid than Rolaids. Watch this familiar demonstration. 1 Rolaids and 1 Tums tablet are added to stomach acid. Both neutralize the acid. But on those occasions, when your stomach has even this much more excess acid, Tums can still absorb it. Rolaids can't. Because tablet for tablet, Tums neutralizes 1/3 more acid than Rolaids. For acid indigestion and heartburn, take Tums.
Here's a great Radio Shack bargain for people on the go. A take-along realistic entertainment system. It's an AM/FM radio for music and news, a cassette tape player. With this built-in mic, I can record lectures, meetings, even personal notes anywhere. Right now at Radio Shack, it's only $59.95. That's $30 off. Realistic radio recorder, like having a take-along entertainment system. Now sale price, just $59.95 at Radio Shack, a Tandy company.
You look at the skyline of Tampa, Florida here. It is a beautiful afternoon, and for the Tampa Bay Bucs, a beautiful game. We're going to take a look at some of the highlights of this game, as the score was 14-0 at halftime. Williams hit Bell, as you know, with a touchdown in the first quarter and went over from the 1. In the third quarter, the Bucs finally got on the board on a 42-yard field goal by Mark Cole, who had missed one earlier.
That's right, and I think that this was a point that helped the Green Bay Packers and maybe got them started, but they couldn't continue to do anything the rest of the way.
You talk about the turnovers. You mentioned it at the start, and this is what perhaps hurt Green Bay more than anything. This is Whitehurst, and this was an interception by Lewis. David Lewis from USC, number 57, on a poorly thrown pass by Whitehurst, brings the ball back, and now you're looking at the only end around we had today, Mucker carrying.
The reverse again, Ricky Bell had gained so many yards, had been so successful today. They were keying on Ricky Bell. He started on a sweep to the left and then handed the ball to Mucker coming back on the opposite side.
And the play we saw before, this was on a rollout, and the tight end left all alone. Jimmy Giles, his 5th touchdown reception of the year.
That was a play we're just talking to Doug Williams about. It was an option play where he faked the run into the middle of the line of scrimmage. Then he rolled out to the right, and he had the option of either taking it in himself or passing the ball. The outside man came up and forced him, so he threw the ball to Giles in the end zone all alone.
All right, let's check some other scores in the NFL. New England was trailing at one point, 13-0. They lead now 21-13 in the fourth quarter, and the Patriots could be 6-2, Dolphins 5-3 after today's action, which would put them in first place in the AFC Eastern Division.
New England can put points on the board.
So do the Jets today against your Oakland Raiders, 28-13. And, you know, Oakland had been driving. A lot of people thought that the Raiders were really on a roll.
They were. Well, they'd won 3 in a row. They'd been going with 2 tight ends, Raymond Chester and David Casper, and they've been very successful. You know, in the last 3 weeks, they hadn't had a turnover, and those are the 3 games that they won.
So the Jets beat Minnesota on Monday, coming back, and maybe they're reverting to the form people thought they'd get. Chicago, 14-10 over Minnesota in the third. The winner of this game will go into second place, undisputed second place in the Central Division, and will be 2 games still behind Tampa Bay. If it is Minnesota, that'll be a big clash next week with the Bucs and the Vikings. So Chicago leading Minnesota.
Both of those teams are probably watching the scoreboard, or have been watching the scoreboard, to see what was happening here. Both of them would have been very happy to see the Green Bay Packers win today.
I'm sure they would have, because you want to see that first place team knocked off. Here's a club that I think has a chance to not only get in the playoffs, which they would by winning a division. New Orleans, 17-0 over Detroit. They stunned Tampa Bay last week. Detroit has had their problems, but I think when you look at the Saints and the Falcons, 3-4 to the Rams 4-3, and the points for and against New Orleans may be the best bet.
Well, you know, they do, because they're so explosive. They have so much talent with Chandler outside and Childs and the running backs of Muncie and Galbraith and Archie Manning. They have great talent. They were ahead 17-0. Detroit scored 7 at 17-7 now. But New Orleans has one thing. They can put a lot of points on the board in a hurry.
So New Orleans leading Detroit 17-7. Dallas in a tough ball game with the Cardinals, 17-13 in the third quarter. Dallas scored first. The Cardinals had the lead. St. Louis can surprise, as they did against Houston, but the Cowboys have to win because they know that they're getting a fight that they haven't had in recent years from Philadelphia and Washington.
Well, you know, a lot of people surprise Dallas. They get ahead early, but it seems like Dallas always finds a way to win. You know, at the end of the season, the Dallas Cowboys are going to be there. They're going to be there in that division playoff game and in that championship game, and I would think they'll probably be in that Super Bowl game.
All right, and one more score to show you here in the National Football League today, and that was it. I'm sorry, Dallas 17 and St. Louis trailing 17-13. And today it was Tampa Bay 21, Green Bay 3. So we've reached the halfway mark of this NFL season. I'd like to know your observations now we've reached the 8-game point.
Well, I think that, you know, again, down here in Tampa Bay, I think they're in very good position now, having the 2-game lead that they have after the 8 games. I think in the Western Division out there, it's still going to be Denver and San Diego and Oakland. That's going to be a very interesting race. They have a very interesting race in the Eastern Division. I think the whole National Football League is very something to look forward to.
All right, John Madden, enjoyed working with you. Bill Barnes has been our producer, John McDonough our director, and it was the day for Ricky Bell, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He scored a touchdown and established a new rushing mark for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers today as he rushed for 167 yards. So the final score, 21-3 for John Madden. This is Dick Stockton saying so long from Tampa Stadium in Tampa, Florida. NBA.
This is CBS.